You are now listening to MrGentleman Like That Podcast presents the Old School Show Season 1. Chill!
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And y'all already know what it is. This is the Old School Show. And y'all know I got my co-host, the star Roddy Rye, bro. This is the Old School Show.
Yes, Old School Show where we talk everything old school. It's good. I'm here.
Yes, you already know. And you already know. And then of course I got my special guest. I got my returning guest. She been on the last couple episodes of the Old School Show. She been on 2 episodes of the Premier Podcast. We got Magna on the show. Magna, how you doing? Welcome back.
MrGentleman.
Yes, welcome back. So yeah, y'all already know. As you remember, the last episode of the Old School Show, we had the Nickelodeon episode, which was a very long episode. Well, I want to say that thank y'all for tuning in for that episode. We did a lot of big numbers, a lot of really big numbers on that episode.
Brilliant numbers.
Top 2 biggest episode of all time.
Yes.
As the biggest Old School Show episode of all time. So yeah, I just want to say thank y'all. Y'all, Magna and Marsha really became fan favorites, and thank y'all. And so yeah, so but this episode we're gonna talk about Disney television. So y'all already know I gotta bring y'all with the trivia questions. So with 3 artists grew up together and was a part of the Mickey Mouse Club. With 3 artists who big now.
Big me.
Who was in the Mickey Mouse Club?
Big me.
I didn't
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Justin Timberlake. And for extra credit, I get to throw Ryan Gosling in there and Kerry Russell. Kerry Russell was the one who played Felicity back in the 90s.
Oh, dang. I never knew that.
I didn't know about Ryan Gosling and
Yeah, they were on at the same time.
I didn't know that. I know about Britney Justin and Christina, of course.
They were, because they're not as big as them. But JC Chastain was also on there, I think.
Yeah. JC was. Yeah, JC was. I remember that. Yeah, they was on it, and they was on it. And before we start, free Britney. Let's continue. Free Britney.
Our favorite now.
So as a kid, what were your first Disney program y'all watched? It could be a Disney Channel show, it could be a cartoon or original Disney program. Which one was the first show y'all watched for Disney?
It's so hard to say because it was so long ago.
Yeah, it was very long.
I do remember one of my earliest memories of a Disney show was gotta be when I was in kindergarten. So that was around 95. At that time, I would go home after school and I would immediately sit in front of the TV before homework or anything. I would watch my Disney afternoon shows. That was Darkwing Duck. That was what was Aladdin? I love to watch me Aladdin, the TV series. All of that came on, and I still remember it to this day.
Okay, nice. What about you, Roddy?
I remember shows that was streaming during the time that I started watching was again Aladdin, maybe the Little Mermaid, and maybe either Gargoyle or one of the duck shows, and maybe Goof Troop.
You watched the Little Mermaid, right?
Hey, it was on, and I liked Sebastian the crab. So hey.
Rest in peace, by the way, to Samuel Wright, the voice of Sebastian, who died recently.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Maybe 2 weeks ago, he passed away.
That Under the Sea song, man, I tell you, that's what got me.
Under the
I know for me, it was of course the afternoon cartoon, Tailspin, DuckTales, Duck Duck, Chippendale, basically all those shows in the 90s. I literally grew up a lot a lot, and I agree with you. Every afternoon, I used to watch those shows. Every Saturday morning when it come on, either on ABC or CBS, I used to watch those shows as well. So yeah. So also, what is your favorite theme song for Disney? It could be a childhood cartoon, it could be the cartoon, or it could be live action.
Man.
Go ahead, Rod, before I ramble.
I don't know. There's so many ones that I enjoy.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot for me as well.
It's just the music of Disney. It's so good. It makes you sing along to it, even if it's a theme song.
I would say that there are songs from Disney Channel shows that I have downloaded in my playlist.
Oh, wow.
Like, look, I'm going to tell myself, and I know we're going to get to it, but I watched some heavy Hannah Montana. So I will say Best of Both Worlds is probably like my number one. I love the theme song from Sunny with a Chance by Demi Lovato. I'm always like, even now, I still watch That's So Raven on Disney Plus, and I love to sit through the song, and I still sing along to that. You know, That's So Raven. How can I not sing along to that? It's catchy.
For me, it's a lot too. It's kind of hard to pick.
It's very hard to pick.
It's really hard to pick. Now, I thought I had it in my head before, but now that I'm about to actually say it, it's kind of hard. I know for cartoon, Duckley Duck, DuckTales, my bad.
DuckTales, okay, yeah.
DuckTales, woo!
What? I'm sorry, I'm not to cut you off, but while you're talking about DuckTales, I need to say that the song is so iconic, they knew they had to bring it back for the reboot, even if they sing it differently. That's such an iconic song.
Yeah, that's very iconic. DuckTales was very iconic. That's the song. Yeah. And as for live action, Kim Possible, Christina Milian singing on it. The Proud Family, to large. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
So let's get to the show list. So the first show we're gonna get to. This is one of my favorite shows like ever for Disney. Boy Meets World. How y'all feel about Boy Meets World? This is Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World.
Life is what we're doing. No, actually, I've been watching. I've been watching Boy Meets World recently, like catching up on season 7. And then when I watch these throwbacks, I just, I always smile. It was such a different time. I don't know about the show.
I'm not gonna front. Boy Meets World always was my favorite show. I watched it when it came out in the 90s, when it was on ABC with the lineup. We had Fatty Matters in the lineup, Step by Step, Dinosaurs in the lineup. That also was on Disney. But yeah, Boy Meets World is always my favorite show. Of course, Corey, Topanga, Sean Hunter, my guy Sean Hunter.
Yeah. Girls loved Ryder Strong back in the day. Especially when he got that black girlfriend.
And also, of course, I say every episode, I gotta talk about my childhood crush, Topanga. So yeah, Topanga was always with my childhood crush, Dale Fisher, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Boy Meets World was that show. Like, the elements of the show was great. Like, my thing is, when I look back now, though, like when they started the show, I think it was too young.
Yeah.
So like I didn't really see them till like they went to when they got older. But I peeped the old episodes, and they were like little children, like junior high probably.
Yeah. They were in junior high. Yeah.
So because of the age we were at when we caught it, I only knew them when they went to high school and they had and Corey's little sister was born and little and stuff.
Oh yeah, the other sister, I do, yeah.
So, I like Boy Meets World. It was what's his name was very good, Mr. Feeney.
Oh, Mr. Feeney, Mr. Feeney.
The teacher
and
everyone would say that.
And the guy who. and the lessons, they had a lot of lessons in that show with Sean, and then with Corey and them, with Mr. Feeney teaching them lessons. Like, you looked at Mr. Feeney, like, you know, he was that dude. He was like their guardian, not only their teacher. That's what I loved about the show too. Like, I like shows that teach you, like, you watch it and it's heartwarming to teach you lessons and stuff. You know?
Agree.
And that's what Boy Meets World did.
It did taught us a lot of lessons, and I agree with that. You know, I mean, when show is called Boy Meets World, it taught us how the young boy turned to men. It kind of gave us that vibe. And I like every character in the show was funny. I mean, of course, I liked the early season, but I really liked it as they got older. I like a show when you they started as kids, and then you grew we grow with them as they get older. So
that was one.
Yeah, and of course, on later season they added one of the Lawrence brothers on the show, who was Sean's brother. I forgot his name though, but
Jack on the show. His name was Jack.
I know on the show he was Jack. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jack. There we go. I remember that.
Yeah, but I forgot his real name. Like, I know he was a Lawrence. Andrew.
Who was Sean living with? What was the guy's name?
Oh, Mr. Turner.
John Turner. There we go.
John Turner.
Right. He was another good role model too.
He was. It was one scene that I always laugh at, and it was when they were graduating from high school, and they see Minkus for the first time after like many years. They're like, Minkus, where you been all these years? I've been in the other side of school. Well, you know, when they go to the other side, we never come back, and then I know he's like, hey, Mr. Turner, I see you, Mr. Turner. Like, I don't know.
I gotta check that scene out, bro.
Minkus has voiced so many characters. Is it Minkus or am I confusing him with someone from Full House? No, Minkus was the one who was on One Tree Hill. If you watch One Tree Hill.
He was. Yeah, he was. He was on One Tree Hill. Right. Yeah, he was. I forgot about that. He was on One Tree Hill. Wow. I knew when I watched it at the time, I was like, he looked familiar, but at the time I didn't know. I couldn't put my. I didn't know.
I didn't even watch One Tree Hill.
Nah, that's a good show, yo. One Tree Hill.
It was a good show.
Chad McNamara. That's my show right there.
That is my show. My favorite Boy Meets World episode of all time. That episode, I think it was like a Halloween episode when they was in the school and they was locked in and they thought that there was a killer.
Oh, yeah.
Down Adams High, where you are gonna die. But you know, that was the killer was actually Sean.
Yeah.
And that was important because Sean was such a central character, because the best part about Boy Meets World was his friendship or romance with Corey. Like, I love Corey and Topanga, but the Sean and Corey relationship, they was like a couple. Okay, when Corey was getting married, it was Sean and Corey who had to like come to grips with it in the middle of the wedding. Like,
I agree.
Talk to me again. I felt that. I did too. Now my friends are getting married.
And I always have a thing, you know, for their friendship as well, man. Their friendship has always been dope. Their friendship always been pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. And you know, the last episode of Boy Meets World, the series finale, and when Corey and they all left and Mr. Sweeney saying, work here done, man. That ending touched me though, you know. Mr. Sweeney saying goodbye to the kids and stuff like that.
Mr. Feeney, bro.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is still alive.
He is alive.
Yes, he is still alive. 90, I think 94, I think. He's definitely 90. He is definitely 90. He's still alive. And bless him.
God bless him, for real.
God bless William, man. He's still alive. Legend, man. Legend. But, you know, of course, you know, when we went off the air, they had a spin-off show called Girl Meets World. How y'all feel about Girl Meets World?
Girl Meets World was only like, how I feel about it, it was only like, it was for them to get the nostalgia out there, like to capitalize on nostalgia. Because the storyline was trash.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
No, I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it 100.
I mean, if I had to be, I did feel like if I had to be honest,
But
I think I didn't like Girl Meet World because it was strictly a Disney Channel show. I feel like if it
maybe
was
that too.
I feel like
Maybe
if it
that
was
added on to it too.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if it was
what I
ABC,
took away
like,
from what I took away from Girl Meets World was the fact that they was able to bring these characters back. I think because I'm older, that's what drew me to Girl Meets World, opposed to the storyline of his daughter and his daughter having friends and he's a teacher. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just came off real corny to me.
I mean, yeah, because like I said, if it wasn't on ABC, I think the show would have been in
a different direction.
Completely different direction. How you feel about Girl Meet World, Magna?
Remember what you said on the last show about how some reboots is just not made for you? You're not a junior high girl, so it's not supposed to appeal to you.
Right, I understand.
I understand that. You're right.
That's after watching like 4 to 5 episodes. I kind of got it.
Too. I agree, but just like Roddy said, I did watch it for the nostalgic as well. You know, seeing Corey and Topanga as adults, and then they bring back some of the old cast members to the show as well. Literally half of them came back. Like literally almost all of them.
Almost all of them came back.
Except not his sister, Morgan.
Right, his sister Morgan didn't come back, right?
Yeah. He was irrelevant anyway. But I didn't watch.
I don't think anybody cared to see her back.
Nobody cared. Didn't Morgan either like she came out of nowhere? Like on Boy Meets World, wasn't she like a baby and then like suddenly you just sprouted into this rude ass like 11, 12-year-old girl?
Yeah.
She was irrelevant.
Also, the same with the baby, the new baby that came had with Boy Meets World too. The brother, the little brother, right?
Yeah, that one didn't show up in Girl Meets World either. I didn't watch the show, to be honest with you. I wanted to, but like I had just said, I didn't feel like it gravitated to me. Like to me, it felt like it's kind of sad for me to be sitting here watching a Disney Channel show about a 12-year-old white girl just because she's Corey and Topanga's daughter. Like
you wouldn't even watch one episode. Wow.
Huh?
You didn't even try to sit through 1 or 2 episodes.
I didn't watch one episode. I watched the episode with Angela because I want to know what was happening with that.
The nostalgic, exactly. The nostalgic.
I wanted to see what was going to happen with Angela and Sean. Nothing, because that little blonde girl kept getting in the way.
Yeah, I watched the highlights on YouTube when they put together the nostalgics. I used to watch those. I'm like, oh wow, this happened on the show. But when I tried to watch the actual show, which is, I just couldn't get into it. And I mean, like I said, not meant to us, and not meant for us though. So it's not meant for us. But
it's not Boy Meets World as much as we want it to be. It's not. It's not going to be about Corey and Sean. It's about this girl and her friend. That's why I can't get into it. I think I did watch the first episode. And I will say that it's cute. It's definitely cute. The girl that plays his daughter is adorable. She's a good actress. It's just not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not for my age group, my demographic.
How much?
I really want my daughter.
I think they had 3. They had 3.
They had a little run.
3 or 4.
Disney Channel shows don't have more than 4 seasons. I learned. That's the cap.
Wow, really?
Not like well. It's a show that on Disney, but we will get to it a little later. But
they have more than 4.
They have 4. It possibly may be getting a 5th, but we go. But that's true. You're right though. A lot of Disney Channel shows do not have more than 4 seasons. That is true.
So they switched out shows like that.
You're gonna have to tell me which one, because they just ended Raven's Home, and that just hit its 4th season. So
shit.
But I heard that show not canceled from Raven. But we're gonna get to more about that when we get to Raven, because that's the Raven topic is coming. But since you mentioned Disney Channel shows, what is on current Disney right now? You know, I did the same thing with Nickelodeon. Episode. What is on current Disney right now? Let's see. What is on current Disney right now?
Some stuff I don't care for, bro.
I
mean, duh. I mean, so of course, Raven Home, of course, which is the only show I do watch at Disney. Don't judge me. A show called Bunk, and that is only 5th season now. They That's on for season now. Yeah, whatever that show is, I never watched it a day in my life.
That's the spin-off off of Jessie.
Oh, I never watched
So
Jessie.
the kids
I never watched
that
Jessie
she took care
either.
of.
I never watched Jessie.
Never watched Jesse Yada.
Me either.
Then they had a show called Spindy to the Max, whatever that is. 3 seasons. Just roll with it. Yeah. Just not for us.
Son, are you trying to make us feel old?
Well, we already felt we felt old when we did the Nickelodeon episode last episode.
Yeah, but we didn't name a bunch of like Nickelodeon shows we never heard of.
Oh,
We
man,
kinda
we did.
did.
Yeah, we
Kinda
did.
did.
We Young Dylan. It was freaking Sutton Hustle. Sutton Hustle.
Loud.
I heard Loud House is good. I got
That
check
is a
out.
good show.
I heard
You
Loud
know
House.
what? When I'm watching live TV, which is rare, I always try to tune into Disney Channel because I did used to watch it like in the early 2010s.
I did too. I used to watch the Disney Channel.
It's not good though. Ain't nothing good on like even this. Remember, you're watching Disney Channel. Like let me grab this.
The
The baton?
little one.
Little baton thing? Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna fly. I'm not gonna fly. I want to be a part of Disney Channel just for that reason only. Just for that reason. Just so I could do Little One. I wanted to be on Disney Channel just for that reason.
I remember they did a what if and they put mad like stars from today and they did a vine of that. That was
And I
funny.
love to do that. That's iconic. But like they don't even. It's not the same when they do it now either.
It's not.
Me either. Let get back on track. Let get back on track though. so the next.
It's just
So
not
the
good.
next show-
That's what I'm saying. Disney Channel's not that interesting. It's like for kids.
I'm pretty sure every kid would have been a Disney kid at the child, son. Trust me. I'm pretty sure every kid would have been a Disney kid at the child. I know I did. I know I would have been on Disney Channel at one point when I was a kid. Trust me.
Exactly.
don't.
That's what.
That was.
Yeah.
But the next show we got is Smart Guy. How you feel about Smart Guy? Smart Guy.
That was an interesting show. I liked it.
It
Yeah, I like
is.
it too. Nah, shout out to Taj Mowry. That's my guy, man. That guy is very talented, man. Taj Mowry, man. Give him his flowers.
So adorable. So
Yeah,
I was just watching him on Full House yesterday because I still watch
Yeah.
Full House. He had it from jump.
He
Okay.
did. He did.
Wow.
He did.
He was on
That
He was on the
was-
original Full House?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
Michelle's friend.
Michelle Friend. He was.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Oh,
I just found out the other day, he was on the Sonic cartoon.
Really?
The original Sonic cartoon, Taj.
Yeah.
Taj Mowry. I didn't know that. He was on the original Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon along with Janelle White.
Oh, wow.
I recently saw him on Family Reunion. I like that show, Family Reunion, on Netflix.
I didn't get to the episode yet.
You
yet.
didn't watch the second season yet?
I didn't watch. I only watched like probably 2 episodes for the second season. I didn't finish it yet.
Well, he is on the show in an episode, and it's cute the way he interact with Thea, like with the joke that they have.
Yo,
he was like,
that's
he was
great.
like, sis, and she was like, bruh, and I'm like, oh, I saw what you did there.
Oh yeah. But back to Smart Guy. My guy Todd Mowry, aka TJ Henderson. He was an intelligent kid. He skipped to high school with his brother, which is my guy JC Reaver, which is making a lot of money through Disney to this day. Shout out to JC Reaver as well. And Omar Goody was on it. Essence.
And Essence Watkins, is it?
Essence active, yeah. I didn't know, and I forgot the father's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always enjoyed Smart Guy. Smart Guy was on WB 11. I always enjoyed that show. That actually was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
But
love
Jason Pitts was on there.
He was. He was dating.
I noticed him in a couple of episodes I've seen on BT. Yeah, he was in there
Yeah,
for a couple of
he was on there too. But I heard from Todd.
Gooden, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Cootie Gooden's brother.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like this Smart Guy. I mean, I heard they're working on a remake for Smart Guy.
You serious?
Yeah, Taj Mowry announced it. He confirmed it.
He confirmed it?
He confirmed it. He confirmed in an interview. They're saying that the whole cast is in it. It'll be developed by Disney. Almost like a Disney Plus, but I don't know when they definitely confirmed it. Todd confirmed it. I'm not sure how the story gonna go though. If I know, probably TJ could be rich with kid. He'll have a kid and stuff like that. Just sound like Raven. Sound like Raven house direction. I can see that.
Wow.
Do we need that?
I don't think we need it.
No.
We don't need it, but
no, because back in the 90s, you wasn't talking about, oh, let's do a Good Times reboot. Like, no, we let the 70s stay in the 70s. Let the 90s stay in the 90s. Like, we here talking about Smart Guy and reminiscing, but like for you to do a reboot, it's kind of like watering down what makes these shows special. Because now,
that's true.
Reminisce
on, like, I'm just now finding out about this, so this is my
Todd confirmed it like a couple weeks ago. He just confirmed on an interview. E Entertainment.
E Entertainment.
Yep.
I don't like it. It's probably gonna end up on something like, I don't know, Peacock or something.
No. He said Disney Plus.
Oh really?
I don't like it.
He said Disney Plus. Yeah, he said Disney Plus. I don't know when though, but I heard the whole cast is supposed to be on it. But do he need one? I don't think he need one. I mean, Smart Guy didn't. I mean, it didn't really end. It ended with them graduating, so it didn't really. But that's
how many seasons was Smart Guy?
I want to say 4 or 5. It was like 4 or 5, I think.
Can't be 5.
Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5.
3 or 4.
No, I think maybe 3 or 4. I think 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. I think 3 or 4 sounds just about. I think 4 seasons just about right. Yeah, it was on for a while.
Smart Guy though was one of those shows where they did have some adult jokes that she missed that she wasn't supposed to get, which you don't even realize until now when you're an adult.
That's true. That is definitely true. They did have some adult jokes on Smart Guy. I agree with you on that.
I love Jason Weaver on that show.
So you were right, Magna. That had 3 seasons. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's not shocking.
Yeah, but like I said, I like Smart Guy, but does it really need a reboot? I don't think it does. But Todd Murray, my guy, he a talented dude though. He always been one of my favorite actors. I want him to do more stuff though.
Yeah, that me too.
I know he's
Smart Guy. Smart Guy should have been more. She had more like reruns, more places. That's what I think.
Yeah, they didn't have it.
You can really catch it now, like MTV2, I think.
Yeah, it was on MTV2. They did play it on Disney Channel at one point, but it's on Disney Plus now, so everybody can catch it on there.
What made Smart Guy special, obviously, was because here's another show of few where you got a black family with a positive portrayal where you have a boy who's like a whole genius.
Exactly.
That was the shows that we needed back in the day. That and Sister, obviously. So of course it's gonna resonate for us now. I mean, it's not even like they making. Well, okay, that show Ant Farm is kind of like that, kind of on Disney Channel. I don't know if we're going to talk about that show later on, but
I never watched it. I heard about it.
I never watched it either.
Oh wow!
It's a lot of Disney shows that was out even before the bunch I mentioned earlier. That was out, but I never even watched. To be honest, if anyone want me to be honest with you, I stopped watching Disney Channel shows after Film and Feature, which was good to that. I get to my reason. After Film and Feature, I started watching Disney Channel shows.
Wait, so you didn't watch no Disney Channel shows in like 2010, 2011?
Not really.
Well, there's nothing good for you to watch anyway. That was like girly shows.
Exactly. That's why I was always with a Nick. That was always with a Nick kid because I watched Nick's Pad 2010.
Because I'm thinking about it, even that show Jonas, I didn't really watch that show, but I'm sure it was intended for a girl audience too. even though it was about 3 dudes, it was the Jonas Brothers. That was the girl.
Yeah, I mean, I had them on the list, but I never watched that show either. But
think of when you like, wow.
Yeah, but let's talk about a show we all watch. Let's talk about that
show you all watch.
Let's talk about That's the Raven. We all watch That's the Raven. How you feel about
that?
To the future. Let me start by saying. I'm gonna start by saying when I first heard about That's a Raven, I just told my boyfriend this when I was watching. I had a nostalgic moment. I said, the first time I heard about That's So Raven, it was like in a newsletter or magazine or something. And they said, there's going to be a show premiering about a Black family with a girl who's 14 and has psychic powers. And I was like, I'm really glad there's going to be a show on Disney about a Black family. I don't know if it's going to catch on that she's got psychic powers, because that sounds a little far-fetched. But I hope that it works out. I didn't see it for them.
But here's the thing. It was a Black family show before That's the Raven. But we'll get to that when we get to that list. But That's a Raven, though.
I didn't say it was the first. I just said it was good to see more because
at the time, right?
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, like smart guy, more inclusion.
Okay, yeah, my bad. But then you're right though. Disney Channel didn't have a lot of Black family though. If we think back, think about it.
Yeah,
a lot.
Not a lot.
Not so much though.
Not a lot. I said not a lot. I didn't know 2 or 3. 3. We gonna get to the other 2 when we get to that list, but yeah.
At the time, I think she was the only one. That was the only show at the time about a Black family.
No, it was
when it came out. It came out 2004.
With That's a Raven, that came out.
I think
2003, I think. Oh, it was in
2004.
Wait, hold on. But Roddy, say what you gotta say, Roddy. Say what you gotta say.
Nah, That's So Raven. The promotion was heavy.
It was.
I remember how it was.
Oh, by the way, 2003. Magnum's right again.
Yeah. Okay.
You're money today. You're money today.
I'll take it.
No. I said the promotion was right. Eddie was a good character. I liked Eddie on the show, which was what's his name, Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown, man.
Even though it was
talk about him.
But the promotion was great. The show was actually a great put together show. I really liked how they put it together. Like, she had psychic vision. She had her best friend Chelsea. They was in high school. Like, it was actually a well put together show. I could say that.
I know for me, it's funny because when That's the Raven came out, and when I actually got to Disney Channel, when I got cable,
right?
I thought I went to Disney Channel with that, Lizzie, and all the shows. But That's the Raven. I always enjoyed That's the Raven. I like the storyline. I like the characters. Eddie was.
It was a fun show to watch.
It was a fun show to watch. Exactly. I always wanted to watch That's the Raven. And like I said, Black family. I didn't think of it like that until you just mentioned it, Magna. I said Black family. That show did a lot. It was a Black family, and it was dope. I enjoyed That's the Raven.
If you didn't know, That's So Raven is, I believe, to date the most popular show on Disney Channel.
It is. You're lying. It is.
Yeah, that's true. I was just about to say that.
I didn't know it's the highest rated.
Well, it is. It is.
I would have done something like Lizzie McGuire or Kim Possible. Wow.
Nah,
because I think That's So Raven appealed to everyone, but of course, they did that by working in a white best friend, because that's what they do to compensate for bleed, which I was going to touch on. But she was funny from the jump. What's so funny about, I love to watch Disney Channel shows on Saturday mornings to this day, because it still makes me feel like I'm watching what's it called? ABC Saturday morning, whatever the lineup was called. But I still watch That's So Raven, and I be laughing like I heard it the first time, because she was funny. She was so funny. She could have done more with her career. But then again, she does have a mouth that is problematic. But from the first episode, that was the one she dressed up like Eddie's mother.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode. I was just watching that episode like the other day.
Oh my god!
Literally the other day.
Her thing was always wearing a crazy costume, and for some reason always flying across the room.
Yeah,
you're hilarious.
She's like what do you call it? Like Tyler Perry and Eddie Murphy. Who else? But mainly Eddie Murphy. She was good at portraying other characters in the same scene, like the episode where she goes to visit her country cousins, and she plays every member of the family: the baby, the uncle, the grandma. Just like Eddie Murphy in the Clumps, like only a really talented person can do that. That's why I'm like, where is she in Hollywood? Because that girl was so talented.
Yo, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Do y'all feel Raven was the queen of Disney? Out of like the childhood star, do you feel like she was the queen of Disney?
Are we talking about shows or like just Disney Studios?
Well, in terms of Disney Channel, I should say. In terms of Disney Channel, was she the queen of Disney Channel? I should say that. That sounds like a more better question.
I don't know.
I mean, she had competition. She had Lizzie. She had Lizzie McGuire. I mean, Henry Duff. She had Miley Cyrus.
I will say that if we're talking about who was the most successful or popular Disney Channel star, I think it would be Miley Cyrus. I'm gonna say that. Like, come on, Hannah Montana was a big deal. Just merchandising alone.
I mean, I heard.
See, the big started to come out of that, but I don't know.
I can't say if I give it to Raven. I don't know.
I mean, Raven was big though. Raven was big. Raven was big. She was a big star.
I remember the show being big. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was one of the successful shows.
But she's not like Miley Cyrus, where she had like concerts sold out in addition to her show.
But then again, well, not in terms of her show, but Raven was a part of the Cheetah Girls, and that was even big. That was a big thing for Disney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had to, right?
That was really big. I heard that was one of Disney's biggest movies at the time. I don't care. Raven a star, son, in Disney. She a star at Disney. I don't care what nobody say.
I would call her a Disney Channel icon. That's what I would call her.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
Yeah, that's better.
That's better.
Because first of all, she's paving the way for the people that came after, like Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Because I think Miley Cyrus was funny too, but like Raven did it first. You know, so she's an icon.
Yeah, she is an icon. I agree with that. Yeah, but that's a Raven. They had two spin-off shows. One is a revival, or reboot, you want to call it, and one is a spin-off. So let's talk about Raven Home. Even though it's current, it threw a spin-off to That's a Raven. It's current, and no, not an old school show, but yeah.
What do you mean when you say a revival? Like, when was That's a Raven a revival, or do you mean the reboot?
Well, no, it's not a revival. It's a reboot. No, it's definitely
a reboot because it's not like the same thing. Yeah,
revival is like
if they brought it back, continued, right?
Same show, same title.
Like how they do in the game.
Pick up where they left off. I've got Raven Home is a reboot. I take that back.
A reboot, yeah.
That's my home house or whatever. Raven Home.
I don't know. I didn't really check out.
Oh my
Raven.
Roddy, say something. Sorry, Roddy. Say what you gotta say, Roddy.
No, I said I didn't really check out Raven's Home like that. Something like 1 or 2 episodes.
This is what we're doing?
What happened?
Sorry, there's fireworks that
we
already starting with. Like, I thought they were gunshots. That's why I jumped.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna be hearing that in the background. Sorry.
No, same here. It's probably same here too. Same here. But how you feel about Raven Home?
Like Simon Dark, yeah. But anyways, what was the question?
How you feel about Raven Home? Did you watch it?
I didn't like sit down and watch every episode. I have watched episodes. I like it. Again, not a show that is geared towards my generation, unless you got the time, because I don't. It's a good show. I love the kids. I do. I love the one that plays Booker, the one that plays Mia. Yeah. They're adorable. I feel like, just like how I felt about That's So Raven, I don't need Chelsea. I don't need Chelsea. I don't need her son Levi. I didn't need the other white girl. What's her name? She annoyed me. Like, I didn't understand what was her deal. She was a white girl with a black accent. Like, I didn't get it. And she was always around. Like, was that girl's parents ever, like, there?
Oh, no. Her parents were not there.
Damn.
But what was her deal? Like, why did she talk like a little black girl, but she was a white girl?
So I'm about to answer that right now. So like I said about last episode with King and Nick on all that, they try to get the black audience to watch Raven home. Since Raven's on the show and they had, the nostalgic and stuff like that, they try to bring white audience. They probably make a white friend sound like a black girl, and so the people could watch. That I guess that's the thing.
Wow.
That's what I think.
Wait, you're saying that they made the white girl talk like she's with a black accent so that they could get a black audience, even though the main characters are already black.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with a white girl. Wouldn't it make more sense just to have a black actor?
I know. I'm scared.
I think they wanted to make it half and half or something, because she's the in between Chelsea and her white son and Raven and her black children. So, did you think he was compromising when he did that? Probably, I also wanted to say, what were we saying?
No. Well, I'm going to talk about how I feel about the show. I actually watched it. I sat down and watched the first 2 seasons. Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the show. It's a good show.
It's funny.
Funny. It does bring back nostalgic a little bit. They brought back the father. They brought back the father for one episode.
Right. I like that.
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. If they brought back anybody else, of course they didn't bring back Linda Brown.
That's sad. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
oh, dude.
I'm not sure they bring back Corey. I'm not sure they brought back Corey yet. I don't know. They didn't, right? From what I remember, from what I know, it was a good show. I like that. I watched the finale of the latest episode, and I like how they were following the COVID storyline where they had to wear masks and stuff. They actually interacted in the show, like the universe versus the real life universe.
I don't like that. Every show does that now.
A lot of shows does that.
I need an escape from reality, so I don't like it.
I mean, if we're in there for a comedy show, I didn't not expect that. A lot of comedy shows didn't do that. I mean, if it was a drama, I understand with the drama, like This Is Us and stuff like that. I don't understand for that reasons to make it fit the time, but it was weird to see it in That's a Raven home though. But
they're funny though. What was the episode I remember? Because Booker, her son, is the one that has the psychic ability, right? Yeah. And there was an episode where wasn't it like Halloween and he didn't have his powers?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something like that. But what I wanted to say was, well, for one, with Orlando Brown, such a good actor. He was in so many things growing up. It was such a shame that he couldn't be there. Yeah. Do you know if the mom or dad was on the show ever?
The father, yeah. I don't know if the mother. No, I'm not sure about the mother. I know the father was on season 2.
She ain't been on the show since season 2.
Yeah, I don't know if he was on a later episode. I didn't know if he was on one episode of season 2. I know that.
I wanted to say that when I watch That's So Raven now, I keep thinking about how Chelsea was a very annoying character, even on Raven's home. Like, you don't have to tell me I'm not bugging when I say this. She was very, very irritating because she was unnecessarily stupid, made lame jokes. Like, you were there to serve a white purpose. That's very clear. And I don't know why y'all always feel like y'all have to do this all the time with Black leads. We always have to apologize for being Black by accommodating whiteness into what is clearly meant to be our space. Even though the show is very diverse, it's the same thing with Raven's home. Like, she does not serve any purpose other than to be a flunky who is like an airhead, which is weird that her son, wasn't he like smart? Levi just
Levi was smart. Yeah, Levi was a genius. He was a genius.
He doesn't add much either. He doesn't. He's like Corey's friend, the kid Larry, was it, on That's So Raven? The little smart white boy.
Oh yeah.
Like that. He's adorable though. He looked like a little guppy. But they don't add nothing, and it's so irritating because it's like she would drag out the scenes with the unnecessary stupidity, and it's just annoying. I don't know if it was as annoying back then, but I just want
to be honest, the girl, her name Tez. Tez was the most annoying character to me.
I don't even know these characters, yo.
Yeah, Tez, that's the white girl. That's the white girl. That was the most annoying character to me, as you really think about it. Chelsea didn't really bother me, but I do agree with you about her acting stupid and stuff like that. Her character is acting stupid and don't bring.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from the original. Right? She's still like that now.
She was like that in
Raven's Home. Okay.
Yeah, she was like that in Raven's Home as well. But yeah.
Why did Tess annoy you so much?
I don't know. I don't know. Tez, the girl, the white girl, the white girl neighbor. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling her character.
She felt kind of extra, right?
Yeah.
It's a gratuitous character where you're adding more than you need. If you were gonna add in a third character, I don't feel like she was it for me.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, but next.
Fake.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't come out natural. I mean, me and Magna know, because we used to be actress. So yeah, because we kind of know the president. But
this is like she's a girl from the Bay Area. Exactly. I just feel like she put on a costume and they told her to talk like this.
Exactly.
Damn, man.
We keep it real on the old school show. Keep it all the way. So next show we got is a spin-off show from That's So Raven, Corey's house. Corey is in the house, or whatever this is called. How you feel about that show?
Corey in the house. Sorry,
want me to be honest? I barely watched that show like that when it was out.
I don't know. Like, I watched the first episodes and it kind of turned me off. Like, I wasn't interested in it. Like, he's in a White House, and I just stopped watching the first episode.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes, like every here and there, but I didn't watch it to really know what the premise is about. I didn't know that they were sitting in the White House and followed up with a chef, and they were working for I guess the president, I think. And yeah, but I don't know. I didn't really.
It didn't catch me at all.
It didn't catch me either. I agree with you on that. What about you, Magna?
I watched the show, I think pretty much every episode, but I can tell you that even though I watched it, it wasn't a good show. I
didn't watch every episode. Say that.
I watched every episode.
Huh? I think it did got canceled. I think we only have
one season.
I think.
Wow,
it wasn't a good show for all the reasons that y'all just said. Like, the concept was ridiculous. How is it your dad is suddenly working in the White House and you going to a private school? Like, where did that come from?
I mean, my thing is, what happened to the mother? What happened to Raven? Right? Did he divorce the mother to just leave?
There's no follow-up against that.
They should have gotten divorced because we ain't seen her since season 2.
That's a fact. Even to the day, even a Raven home, to the day, we still haven't seen the mother.
At least they didn't replace her with a light-skinned mother.
There we go. Stop.
Like they did in Viv.
Facts. Facts.
Oh man. But yeah, the show, I liked watching the show at the time, but the concept was just so stupid. And you had the Indian girl with the fake accent. Then you had the white boy, who I know from other Disney Channel movies I liked them, but because it was just so not feasible. And then you had the little girl, Madison Pettis, who actually grew up to be like what a guy would call hot. I saw her Instagram picture. She turned into a baddie. I saw. She was the little girl on the show, and then she played The Rock's daughter in that dumb movie. Do you remember that?
Which movie?
What was it called? The movie with The Rock, where he was like a football player and he found out he had a daughter, and he suddenly went from like a bachelor life as a football player to now being like a dad.
Yeah, I remember that movie, but I forgot the name of the movie at the moment.
I don't even remember the name of the movie. But what was weird was that what's his name? The one who plays Corey. What's his name again? I don't know. Kyle Massey. Didn't he like kind of have this scandal around him about him being kind of like a creep or something?
I don't remember that scandal.
It came out where he was they said that he was kind of like he harassed a woman or something like that, like sexual misconduct thing. Okay. I saw him in a picture with the girl from Corey in the House, the little girl, and she's like way older now. And I thought that was just kind of creepy because I think he also said something about wanting to, that he would. Let me be quiet.
Oh, gee.
This isn't the allegedly
How to win.
Corey in the House. Let's just all agree that Corey in the House, it was a terrible show. Sorry, Cal Mousy.
I watched it. I liked it somewhat. It's just stupid.
I wanted to watch it just because I heard things, but not on Disney Plus, so I can't watch that and a few other shows I wanted to watch. Hopefully, I can watch that soon. So I still see what all y'all talking about, Corey in the House. So yeah. All right, so next show we got is Lizzie McGuire. How y'all feel about Lizzie McGuire?
Oh yeah, Lizzie McGuire was a great show. Hold on, why that face, Magna? What about you? Why I mentioned Lizzie McGuire?
I didn't watch every show about a white girl. I watched some.
Nah. Lizzie McGuire was a good show. She had a little cartoon. That's what got me interested. The little cartoon, her. Remember, Ken?
Yeah, man, of course. I definitely watched Lizzie McGuire.
And then she had the best friend, Gordy, and
Gordy and Miranda.
Yeah.
I watched every episode of Lizzie McGuire. I even watched the movie. I was a fan of Lizzie. I was a fan of Hilary Duff.
Yeah, that was a nice show.
I watched Lizzie McGuire, like all the Lizzie McGuire, man, and I like that show. Like I said, the little cartoon, her I guess her conscience on what she wanted to do. That always kept.
Is it available on Disney Plus?
It is on Disney Plus. Yeah. It is on Disney Plus.
I'm gonna check that out later.
But I'm not sure y'all know about this, but originally Lizzie McGuire was supposed to have a reboot, and first it was supposed to be on Disney Plus. Then it was supposed to be then she wanted her show to be more mature and not kids friendly, which I understand. I agree, it shouldn't be kids friendly. So she wanted to move it on Hulu. I guess Disney got upset behind that. They didn't want that to happen. They really wanted Lizzie McGuire to be like a kid-friendly, washed down version of Lizzie McGuire. Something like Raven Home and stuff like that. So
I can understand.
Yeah. So now they pretty much scrapped the whole idea altogether.
Yeah,
because
they can't go nowhere with it.
No, because they filmed the first. Here's what happened. So then Disney did this. She filmed it with Disney. She filmed a first couple episodes. She didn't like it. She didn't want it to be like washed down and kiddie-ish. She wanted reality. She wanted to let people know what we go through. So she wanted to go to another platform so that it could be like more adult oriented, basically. Which I agree with that, because I agree. I'd rather that anyway. Like how iCarly is kind of the reboot. iCarly is kind of more adult. Actually, about that. Don't judge me. But yeah. So So now they couldn't get it to Hulu and stuff like that, or no other platform. So they had to scrap the whole idea. Then he scrapped it completely.
Well, how would you feel if it was the same thing for That's So Raven? Like, what if you heard Raven wants to make the show, like, I don't know, more mature, darker, and moving on to Hulu? I don't think I would like it the same way because that's not how I know it.
Yeah, of course.
It's supposed to be funny and light.
Yeah, but I think Hilary Duff. Think about Hilary Duff. It's supposed to be about her as an adult in the city, struggling about her life. That sounds like a show that could be more adult-oriented instead of Disney Family.
Of course.
Then it shouldn't revolve around Lizzie McGuire. It should just be a whole other character.
Yeah, but she wanted to be like where she having sex. She wanted to be where she having sex with guys and stuff like that. And this is like us, like people our age, stuff with people our age who drink more, like more relatable.
Something like something like an adult show. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. More relatable
adult experiences and stuff. I get it.
Exactly. She wanted that for Lizzie McGuire. She wanted that for Lizzie McGuire because she knows the people who grew up with the show, which is our age group. She wanted to relate to us and not relate to the younger generation. She wanted that for us. Basically.
I feel what you're saying now, Ken.
Yeah,
I get it. I get what you're saying.
I can't have an opinion because I didn't watch Lizzie McGuire like that. Like, I've seen some episodes, don't get me wrong. Like, I know the characters. I just never found it interesting because, like, why are we sitting here and the two of y'all are saying I watch Lizzie McGuire, but somehow I'm the only one who
right?
I mean, like I said, I enjoy Lizzie McGuire. I knew what they did have the reboot. But Harry Duff got another job though. She's on the reboot of How I Met Your Mom. So something came out of it.
You mean How I Met Your Mother?
How I Met Your Mother, yeah, something like that. Yeah, How I Met Your Mother, How I Met Your Father. It's a reboot.
Are you talking about How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah. She's on the reboot.
Of that?
The reboot of that. It's called How I Met Your Father. And Harry Duff is the lead character of that.
What? Same characters?
I think it. I'm not sure if it's the same character. I know Harry Duff is one of the leads of it though. Yeah, I know she definitely one of the leads of it though. It's a reboot.
Where's it on?
They didn't say yet. They didn't say. They just announced that the new show coming out, but that's a reboot for How I Met Your Mother, called How I Met Your Father. Harry Duff. Probably Peacock. I think it might be Peacock, but that's what I need.
Crazy lazy now. Oh my God. Why not just reboot Barney? Like,
oh, gee.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised though. Wouldn't be surprised they did that too. But I know one show that I know for a fact that did not reboot yet. Even Stevens. How you feel about Even Stevens?
Didn't watch it.
Oh dang, really?
I'm sorry.
What?
I didn't have Disney Channel, and when it was on ABC, it was like Lizzie McGuire for me. It was just a little white bird for me.
I mean, it was.
Even Stevens. It was kind of goofy because he was goofing around a lot. What's his name?
Shia LaBeouf.
And then they had the sister that's the star in Kim Possible, I think.
Oh yeah, Ren Stevens. She had another crush of mine.
Christy Carlson Romano.
She was another crush of mine as a kid.
Oh yeah.
She was another crush of mine. Too bad she married kids, but yeah. but yeah. Even Stevens was actually one of my favorite shows on Disney. Actually, one of my favorites. I watched that's like Lizzie McGuire. I watched every episode of Even Stevens. Shia LaBeouf was gold in that show. He was annoying. As I watch it now, he was annoying. I know he was annoying, but as I was younger, I enjoyed it. You enjoyed
it, yeah. When you're that age and watching the show, yeah.
Now, yeah, it was just like, wow, he was really.
He pulled a lot of pranks and acted crazy on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, just like Orlando, Shia LaBeouf got some trouble as well, but not as. I don't think not as bad as Orlando though.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Pretty bad, yeah. But
because he's also accused of being like what's the word? Abusive, physically abusive.
I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that part. I didn't know that he did have DRI and stuff like that. He did the movies after the fact because he was Transformers. He did other movies and stuff.
He did Hoes, which I never saw.
Hoes, stuff like that. And it's funny because recently. Even Steven did have a reunion, of course on Zoom. Of course, they had a reunion I'm not sure they mentioned a reboot. I don't think it needed a reboot. That show definitely didn't really need a reboot. Of course, everybody was there.
Get a reboot because of his place in Hollywood.
Yeah, and Charlotte, and Charlotte was the only one that was not in at the reunion anyway. So yeah, he wasn't. Nah, he was the only one that wasn't. Everybody else was.
He was the lead.
He was the
lead,
lead.
Right?
Him and Christian Romano with the leads, yeah. But she was there, of course. She was definitely there.
It's not really a reunion without the person the show's named after.
Crazy, I know, right?
Wait, where's this reunion on?
It was on. I saw it on YouTube.
Okay.
You look up on the Even Steven reunion, and the whole cast is on Zoom except for Charlotte Buff. They actually did mention him too on the reunion as well. Like with Charlotte, that they couldn't reach him or something, stuff like that. But
probably jail.
Probably. But I want to talk about Christian Romano real quick because she do something on YouTube where she brings like a lot of old stars and she have like a podcast show on YouTube, a show on YouTube where she interviewed every child star ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah. She brought a lot of people, yo.
I think didn't she do one with I think Melissa Joan Hart?
Yeah.
Was it the sister from Full House, Candace Cameron?
Oh yeah, Candace. Yeah, she did.
I saw that clip. They were talking about being moms or something.
Yeah, she did. She had with both of them. She had with the dude from Power Rangers, the Black Ranger. Of course, they had Jilla White on the show with Steve Urkel. She had a lot of people. She doing her thing with that. A lot of people. Taj Mario's on there. I think Taj Mario's on there. She had a lot of people, yo. A lot of
people, yeah.
And I be enjoying it. I watch it all the time, and I enjoyed it. You know, check it out. I forgot what it's called on YouTube, but it's on YouTube.
I'm gonna look it
up.
Not
like Keeping Up with Christy or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know she cooked with some people. She cooked with them. She discussed like show reaction for their old shows and stuff like that. It's a lot. It's enjoyable. Shout out to her. I want to get her on my show one day. But yeah.
Tell her you had a crush.
Yeah, she's my child crush. her and Topanga. Topanga. But yeah, my Disney crush. Just the only two Disney crush though. So next show is, I believe it probably was Magna's favorite show. I might be wrong, but it probably have my favorite show. Hannah Montana. Cause I never watched Hannah Montana. So, I never watched Hannah Montana. I don't think anybody watched Hannah Montana.
Listen, okay.
This is your time.
I remember when that show also came out for the first time. I was like 16 watching a show about a girl who was a famous 12-year-old. Once again. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I bought the Hannah Montana CD for the first season, which also came with DVDs. I'm like, I like the songs. The songs was good. I thought the show was funny. Just like Raven-Symoné, Miley Cyrus is funny. She wears costumes and, she gets into because physical comedy, that's what will make you popular. If you can manage having food all over you like they do in Nickelodeon, where you wear crazy costumes, that type of show is always going to do well. And that's what happened on the show. And Billy Ray Cyrus was also on the show as her father, even though there were several things that did not make sense, but it was still a good show. Emily Osment was on the show. That's Haley Osment's sister. And they had good songs. They had good storylines. They had good jokes. I still watch Hannah Montana. It's funny, even though there are some things that did not age well. Look, I'm not ashamed to say I still listen to Hannah Montana songs, okay? I went to go see the movie. I went to go see the 3D concert movie, okay? I was a teenager, so...
No comment. And and I think by then, that when I stopped watching Disney. After when Hannah Montana stuff came out, I stopped watching. I didn't look back. I was through watching Nick. I was watching Team Nick. Watching Degrassi. That's all I've been watching around that time. Yeah,
That was like 2006.
2006. Yeah, so after the next show, actually, because this show is so terrible, even more terrible now that I watched it, this is when I started watching Disney. Phil in the Future.
You didn't like Phil in the Future?
I mean, probably when I was younger, I did, but it wasn't my favorite show. But I hate it now. I watched it the other day. I hated that show.
Damn.
That show did not make sense.
Such a strong word.
That show did not make sense. It did not make sense at all.
But I didn't like
the house.
Huh?
Like Corey in the House. I watched it, but it was stupid. Like I liked Phil in the Future, but it was stupid.
Phil in the Future was stupid, yo. I don't know. They ain't do their thing on this one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Disney shows have stupid shows, and it was stupid show to enjoy. There was a stupid show that turned me off. Like it was too. What? It was too. I'm sorry, it's got stupid. It was too stupid. It was just like what? Like
I like the theme song.
That's the only thing I like.
Yeah, the theme song was kind of.
That's the only thing I like. That's the only thing I like about it. That's the only thing I like for the show.
It can't keep your interest though.
Nah. Yeah, but after that, I didn't watch. The next couple of shows I'm about to mention, I didn't watch. Hopefully Magna watched these. Probably Roddy watched these. Next show we got Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Sweet Life with Zack and Cody. How do y'all feel about that?
I watched it, but I wasn't interested. It wasn't a show I wanted to watch.
Well, once again, for me, I tried to watch it. I did not like it.
Y'all are killing me.
Sorry, we being real.
I didn't like it.
You know what it is? When did Sweet Life of Zack and Cody come out?
I think probably was 2006, maybe
late 2000.
Was it?
It was definitely 2000, like around. It was around the time after Lizzie and them was done, because then that's when Phil and Future came out, and then Zack and Cody came out around the same time. I think 2005. I want to say 2005.
Because what it is 2010, I had moved in with the person I was dating, and we had cable. So at that time, I watched a lot of Disney Channel 2010, and I was 20 years old. So that's why I know, what's it called? Good Luck Charlie and all the stuff that you didn't watch. That's how I know them. But and at that time, I was watching all episodes of Sweet Life with Zack and Cody. It even came on Channel 7.
Yeah, I know. I know it came on. I didn't like it. You know,
I didn't like it either, bro.
And
you know what? You're not a twin. I don't expect you to relate.
Cool. Oh yeah, because they were twins. Wait,
it was twins, right?
What show? What other show they was on before Sweet Life with Zack and Cody?
Friends. I know that they both were on Friends playing his son. I don't know what else.
I'm not gonna fuck. I thought they were the twins from Full House.
No,
I know that was. But I know later that wasn't them. But I thought it was. I thought it was when I was younger. But
you know, it's crazy. When I was down a couple years ago, I was down in the East Village, and I saw one of them. The one that's Cole Sprouse. He was going to NYU at the time, and he was like jogging right past me, and I had to do a double thing, and I'm like, is that boy from Zack and Cody? Or am I bugging? But that happens in the city, so. But what was wrong with the show?
I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. I just could not get into it.
It was funny. You have one who was smart, one who was like mischievous.
I don't know. I watched a couple episodes of it. I just could not get into it at all.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. It went to the point that I didn't bother to watch the sequel show to it.
That was a dumb sequel. But again, it was one of those shows that I watched even though I knew it was stupid.
You watched a lot of shows that was dumb.
You seem like you watch a lot of those Disney shows that was like that.
Don't test the time. Disney Channel had a lot of
Well,
those
Disney
shows.
had an audience because these shows actually.
For real, yeah.
Because it's kids.
Yeah,
They'll
kids.
watch
Yeah.
a dumb show. Like, how you
Right.
going to simply go to school on a boat? But you know what? Phil Lamar. Do you at least remember him? He was the one that played Mosby. He was the manager of the hotel.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least-
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
He was great on the show. Like, you can't deny that. I love Phil Lamar. He's the Reading Rainbow guy, right?
No, that's
No, I'm sorry. That was Bruce. That was Kunta. He was on Star Trek.
Yeah, he the same one. Yeah, he's the same one. He was on Star Trek. He about the whole death Jeopardy in July.
Phil Lamar or
Lamar forgot his name. Lamar.
I confused them.
You confused.
Wait, not Phil Lamar. Oh my God, Phil Lamar is the one who plays Static Shock. What am I saying?
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know. I did not know.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know that. Wow. When you say he plays Static Shock?
No, I'm confusing people. Forget Phil Lamar. Forget Phil Lamar. Take that out of your head.
We're gonna take it out of his head. So how you feel about the reboot for the sequel show to Second Cody, Sweet Deck or whatever? I didn't watch that at all. I didn't watch that.
I told you the concept was stupid. They went to school on a boat. Like, you don't just hit the lotto like that where I get to go to high school on a yacht and sail around like the Caribbean and I'm in school. No, that was stupid.
Yeah, it was a stupid concept. Yo.
So basically they Corey in the house did. Okay. So they Corey in the house did, basically.
Yeah. They take outlandish situations and turn it into the storyline, which is ridiculous. I still watched it though. It was still funny. I liked because what we didn't even touch on was the crossovers that ABC shows had.
Yeah, I heard that they had a crossover. I heard some show that
Yeah. That's So Raven, Wizards of Waverly Place, and Sweet Life of Zach Cody. They did a crossover twice.
Oh wow!
With Hannah Montana as well. But the girl who plays Jessie, that's where she got her start on that show. And Brenda Song, who randomly just had a baby with Macaulay Culkin.
Brenda Batty Song.
You like her too? Was she your crush?
She wasn't my crush, but she was a baddie. Brenda Batty Song. Shout out to
I like her.
Too bad she doesn't really got wife and kids. Too bad she doesn't wife and kids.
What are you talking about? You just said Macaulay Culkin's kid.
Oh, all right. She is dating Macaulay Culkin. Right.
They're still together.
Macaulay Culkin. Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, really? Okay.
I forgot about that. I really forgot about that. She was right. She is dating Macaulay Culkin.
It was like last week or 2 weeks ago.
I heard about that. Like earlier this year. Not earlier this year. Like a couple months ago, actually.
Damn, bro.
I like Brenda's song. You know what? On the real, Jeannie Mai talked about how she always gets confused with Brenda's song.
I did too. I did at one point too. I thought when the real was done, I thought I remember the song, but that really wasn't.
Oh, gee.
But not really. They don't really look alike that much.
I mean, a little. I mean, it's a little bit, but Brenda a little younger though, right?
Brenda?
Yeah.
I think so. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I have no idea. But yeah, I feel like Brenda, remember she was in The Social Network? Other than that, she didn't have much of a career going on. She had Wendy Wu, the Disney Channel movie.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, Wendy Wu. And she had a couple other movies. I think she had a movie out recently, actually. That was on Lifetime, I think. At least she did.
Really?
I think she had a movie on Lifetime. Or was it a Lifetime or a Netflix movie? She was in I seen a movie with her in it recently.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I think it might have been a Netflix movie, but I really like Brenda's song on the show, playing a version of Paris Hilton, but Asian. And you never saw her father, which was one of the storylines that you never see her dad. And Ashley Tisdale got her start before.
Oh, that's Janelle. That was she was on High School Musical, right? That's Janelle, right?
Yes.
Right. I had a feeling.
The cast from High School Musical made an appearance on the show. One of those.
Okay, cool.
Y'all are whack. Anyways, next.
So here's more shows that me and Roddy most likely didn't watch, but Magna did. With or Waverly. Wizard or Waverly. Oh, whatever called.
Wizards of Waverly Place?
There you go. Wizard of Waverly Place.
You didn't watch that?
Nah, I told you I didn't watch that show. I told you I was lying about that.
I won't say much. I'll just say that at that time I was like 17. I lived with my dad and he had cable. So that's how I watched it. I liked it from the jump. You know, a show's gonna be good if the first episode is good. And even though the main
not only the first, maybe the follow-ups too.
You gotta give some shows a chance. If
some shows get a chance. But I did 3
episodes after that.
Exactly. I used to do 3 to 5 episodes for me. But this was one show that I didn't bother to watch at all. You know.
Generous. I liked it.
Maybe I check it out one day. Maybe I check it out. Maybe I check it out.
Funny. It's not even like it was a girl show. It was a family show, and it was about Latinos.
Oh wow!
They were Latino.
I know that. Like I said, I just never really paid attention to Disney after 2006. So it didn't. I just didn't like just watch stuff there.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, and this next show.
It was a good representation for Latinos, though, sort of. And we didn't really have that many, you know, except for Taina on Nickelodeon. So that was good for them at the time. And it launched Selena Gomez's career.
That's the show she was on.
That's the show she was on. Okay.
Yeah. That's how she became popular in the first place. Because she was singing on that show. And that's why we talk about her music career now. And I think Selena is going to be in a new movie that's coming out soon, which is kind of dark. I didn't think she'd go back into acting.
I mean, I know that from what I remember, the last thing I know Selena was doing was 13 Reasons Why.
I didn't know she was on that.
Yeah, she was. I think she was the executive producer of that.
What's the next show?
And I don't know. And the next show is another show that I didn't watch, but I heard this sparked up another musical artist career, which at the time I didn't know that until later. I mean, I knew now, but I studied with a chance, with which launched a girl who I actually do got a strong question to this day.
You got a crush on Demi Lovato?
I do, yes, I do. I had a question on Demi Lovato since X Factor. Yes.
She's not into guys anymore, so oops.
Oh, dang. I know she. I think she's taken now, but she's another one to take it. but yeah. but tell us about this show, because I didn't watch this one either.
Well, that was a show about a girl who won a competition to be the cast member of a sketch comedy show. It's basically like if you were watching All That as a scripted comedy.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like if one of the cast members of All That was just like the character, someone who won a competition to be on the show. It was funny, and it reminded me a lot of All That. Like, their skits were genuinely funny. The show off of the comedy show was funny. What I didn't like, though, is that after 2 seasons of the show, I guess maybe Demi Lovato got too popular, but they ended up like kind of stopping the show, and instead their sketch comedy on the show became an actual show.
Oh, wow.
Which was weird, because when I watched season 3,
that's crazy.
It wasn't the show. And I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that spin-off or whatever you call it. Like, the name of their show on the show was called So Random. And they actually made So Random a real show. I didn't like that at all. I thought it was whack. It stopped being funny at that point. Wow. But the girl famous now.
That's crazy. And I never watched that show at all either. But
Me neither.
I don't expect you to.
But I didn't know what it was about until you just mentioned it though. So it sounds kind of interesting. I probably
like
would have
something now I want to watch.
Yeah. Exactly. It's something I probably would have watched now too. Like I'm curious. I'm curious to watch it.
Crazy.
I'm curious to watch it now. I'm probably watching it on Disney Plus.
It's like if you ever wonder what it's been like on all that, it's kind of like that.
Oh, it's like a behind the scenes type of thing, and then after you do the show, okay. I get what you get. I get it. Okay, I get it. So it's like a comedy show, but it had like a behind the scenes segment, but that is the actual show. And
yeah, like the show is about the actors being on that show. Like it takes place in Hollywood, and they talk about getting awards and stuff like that. And then their rival is a show that's in the same studio, which is like One Tree Hill. So it's like, imagine if the cast of all that was rivaling against the cast of One Tree Hill.
Okay, got it.
That's where the conflict comes in. They don't like each other.
Damn.
Got it.
See, isn't that more interesting?
You made it more interesting now.
Yeah, she explained it like, now I'm gonna check it out.
For real, right? I'm gonna watch it after we finish this episode. All right, so the last show that me and Roddy probably most likely didn't watch, but Magna probably did watch, is Good Luck Charlie. How you feel about that show?
Yo, y'all are drowning me out. Yes, I want Good Luck Charlie.
What's that about?
What's that about?
Short. The show is cute. I don't know if anything that I say can make you watch it. It's revolving around this girl who makes video diaries for her baby sister. So every episode, she's like, "You got a fucked up family. Good luck, Charlie." Like that's basically how it is every episode. But like their family is like that kind of dysfunctional white kind of family. So that's why I enjoy watching them. Like, you know, the mom is just like, I don't know, think of it like Shameless. They're funny, in my opinion.
Sound like a Disney version of iCarly.
No, it's nothing like iCarly.
I would joke. I would joke. That was a bad joke. I take that back. But yeah, let's.
See why you would think that, but.
Yeah, let's get back to now. Let's get to the show that I actually did watch. And I can finally talk again. The Famous Jet Jackson. Have you watched that show?
No, this is where I stop talking.
Okay, so the Famous Jet Jackson is another show about a black family who is about, you know, a boy who have a regular life, but will also play a superhero on TV called the Silverstone. I had to rewatch the episode yesterday to refresh my memory on it. And I watched the show came out in 1998 to 2000. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. Always enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good show, you know.
It wasn't animated, right?
Huh?
It wasn't animated, right?
No, live action. We're live.
Well, who played him?
This dude named Lee Thompson Young. He's a black guy. Huh?
Was he in anything else?
He was on a few stuff, but then he passed away a couple years ago. He committed suicide.
Oh yeah.
But you know, he was good. Think about he was a good actor though. That's the thing. Like he was a really good actor. I really liked him. I really like him on Jet Jackson. I like him on other stuff he was on.
But The Famous Jet Jackson was a good show. I enjoy watching it too, yo. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember most of the characters on there, but
I mean, I had to refresh myself. You know, it was a guy named JB. His wife named JB. The girl name I think was Chris. I think it was I forgot the girl name, but it was a girl who always had a crush on Jet Jackson for the longest.
Right.
And of course he has his father.
Of course, the family.
It was a family show. His father, grandmother.
Right.
His grandmother was one of my favorite characters. His grandmother. She was always like keep it real and stuff like that.
That's
and of
crazy.
course, and it's his superhero show. His character, Silverstone, and stuff like that. And I wish that that was the only show that I wish is on Disney Plus because it's not on Disney Plus at the moment. I don't know why, but it's not on Disney Plus at the moment. And Yeah, that was a good show. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to a show where everybody watch. Where all of us watch. Let's talk about the Proud Family. Let's talk about
shit.
It's about time. It's about time we talk about a show that all of us watch.
Let's spice it up.
Let's spice it up now. Time to talk about the animated show now.
I wanna
talk about the Proud Family.
Yeah.
So how y'all feel about the Proud Family?
Proud Family, bro.
Proud Family.
Proud Family was a great show. I like all the characters on it, especially the singing uncle. That was my favorite character.
That was my favorite character too. Uncle Bobby was my favorite character.
And every time Oscar yelled, "Today!"
Today!
Mad loud. That was funny. The kids at the school, of course. The Grove sisters, of course. Man, that's so cool. But it was crazy how one episode they made the big one. The what was the friend name? The white friend?
Zoe.
Zoe. She and Penny gave her a makeover. I remember that episode.
Yeah.
And they said that she was a little softy because they gave her a little makeover and stuff. Like another show that it was a great show. It was well put together, of course. It was a great show. I always enjoyed it. And then Romeo was playing a character on there.
He did.
And then this other JC Jackson guy. I remember those episodes.
Don't forget about guy Wizard Kelly, son. They never show that man's face.
Oh yeah, Wizard Kelly with the basketball on his face.
No, show the guy's face, man.
He's like he's like Miss Bella. You never see their face, bro.
Yeah, just like the character from Powerpuff Girls, the mayor, Miss Bella. Her name is Miss Bella. Miss Bella, yeah.
He's like based off of Magic Johnson, right?
Yeah. I think Magic Jackson. Yeah, I think that was Magic Jackson. Yeah, Magic Jackson played him. I think.
Magic Johnson played his voice.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
Based off of Magic Johnson.
Yeah, that too.
That too. Yeah. But like Roddy said, the singing uncle was my favorite character. Uncle Bobby. Well, we gonna do. Shout out to Cedric. Cedric Entertainer. Cedric was hilarious on that with that character.
Oh, that was Cedric who did that? Wow.
That's Cedric. Yeah, that's Cedric.
I didn't even remember that, yo.
And don't forget Sugar Mama, man. Sugar Mama.
Of course.
Sugar Mama. Joe Marie
Payton, yeah.
I love her.
Legend.
I love her, Sugar Mama.
Yeah, I love the whole cast. I love the whole cast. Tommy Davidson, Keller Pratt, the girl from All That. I forgot her name.
From All That.
Yeah, we mentioned last episode, the Spanish girl who was on.
She played
La Cienega. Yeah, she played La Cienega.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Like Proud Family was just it. That show was perfect.
It was dope. I ain't gonna lie.
It was dope.
The way that they reference Black pop culture, all pop culture. Like they had an episode with Romeo Must Die as the theme. And what was that one called?
I do not remember that episode.
Where she was like studying with one of those Asian triplets.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Oscar was my favorite character for sure.
Today.
The end of the show kills me because it's like Oscar, Dr. Payne. You ain't Dr. Payne. He's always like twisting this dude to him.
For real, yo.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the show is hilarious. But I want to talk about the cast, like all the guest stars that they had on the show. A crazy list. Like every episode that I watch, I always gotta look at the credit list because it's like I know that voice. I know who that is.
For real. Yeah.
Ashanti on the show, Cedric the Entertainer. Oh my God. I'm mad that on Disney Plus, they don't have the episode with Steve Harvey where he was the credit card.
Oh,
really?
really?
Yeah, I remember that episode.
I remember that.
I remember that episode.
Love that episode. Penny, she gets the credit card, and then her friends convince her to like spend it, and then the credit card has Steve Harvey's mustache. Oh my God, that was so funny.
And don't forget, Orlando Brown was also on that show too. Like,
yeah, he was.
He was everywhere.
He was the Thicky, right? Was it Thicky on the show?
Thicky was the guy name, yeah.
Yeah.
DJ
Oh man.
What's her name? She was Charmaine on A Different World. She was DJ.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. That was her. That was her.
That was her.
Yeah, that was her. Right. Yeah, that was her. Right.
The girl that played Jewel on Fresh Prince.
Yeah. That definitely was Charmaine. Yeah.
What do y'all think about the reboot? That I
didn't
mind.
see it yet.
I'm waiting for it. It didn't come out yet. I'm waiting for it. I am waiting for it. I am waiting for it.
Oh, didn't drop yet? Okay.
Not yet. I ain't waiting for that. I didn't know Kiki Palmer got added to it. I know Biddy Porter is added to it. Of course they're adding a gay character to the show. So
of course, I didn't realize in retrospect there was an episode where they made fun of the kid Michael. Remember the one he wore the shirt?
Oh yeah, with the shirt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Calling him a sissy, and obviously today, with the way things are socially, like looking back in that episode, that spoke to like one of those serious issues regarding like boys and their sexuality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not like we were gonna look at it like that. Like,
that's crazy. Though.
Yeah, that's crazy though. That's crazy.
Yeah. But like the episode that I like to watch every Black History Month is the Black History.
Yeah. I know you took
yes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
All of that.
Yeah, me too.
Best episode.
It is the best episode. Yeah, I think I feel like that came on recently. I feel like I watched that recently, or somebody posted on IG recently the Black History episode.
That was their best episode for sure.
That was their best episode. Yeah, definitely.
They did that thing on this show.
They did. I'm happy that this getting a reboot. A reboot. Hopefully they do it when they're like a little older. I'm pretty sure they are, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So the next show.
Wait. Did y'all even pick up on the problematic things in Proud Family? Or
what's the problematic thing?
What a problematic thing?
There was a lot that we didn't realize was in our consciousness.
Hold on, point it out.
Like what?
I probably couldn't think right now, but point it out.
Well, for one, do you remember in the episode where she went back in the 50s and they kept making fun of her afro? They kept saying, I forgot the exact lines, but they like, you need a relaxer.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I see it. I actually do remember that. I think I did watch that episode before.
And they make that joke more than once in that episode. And everybody talks about how it was kind of colorist, the way like Penny was light skinned and she was like a nice, smart girl, but then her friend Dejanay was like dark skinned.
Oh yeah. They did make a big thing about that. They made a big thing about that. That they're saying that Penny was light skinned and Dejanay was the ghetto girl and stuff like that.
The ghetto dark skinned girl. And then they said even in the promo picture for the reboot, they're like, oh, y'all still making Dejanay look like all ghetto and stuff with like her stomach out and whatnot. And like, come on, it's 2021. Like, be more mindful of how you draw a character.
Yeah, that's crazy. And and last but not least, let's talk about the theme song, yo. Solange is definitely child. Like,
yes, that was the theme song,
yo.
The theme song is technically Solange and
I know. Yeah, I know Solange and Destiny Child. I said that. I said Solange and Destiny Child. I said that.
You said Solange. I didn't hear that though.
Yeah, I said
I
Solange
didn't
and
hear you
Destiny
say Destiny's Child. I thought you said Disney Channel, but okay.
Child. No, I said Solange and Destiny Child. I said first.
I didn't hear him say Solange, but yeah, we could.
I did say Solange. But yeah.
Nah, that was a dope theme song. Yeah.
It was a dope theme song.
Yeah. I never skip the intro when I watch an episode.
Me either.
Same here.
Me either. I always listen to it all the time. So next show we got another cartoon, which is a dope cartoon. We also had a dope theme song, Kim Possible. How you feel about Kim Possible?
You gotta sing the song, bro.
I tried to remember the theme song. I don't remember that theme song like that. I mean, I know Christina Mia sing it, but I don't remember word for word though.
There's trouble if you just call my name. Kim Possible, you know.
Yo, on that show, my favorite characters were Ron and the Naked Mole Rat, and the fact that he rapped on the show, and he had songs. Ron.
Yeah, once Dr. Boom was my guy. Shout out to Eric, Boy Meets World.
That was the voice, right? Eric from Boy Meets World.
Yeah, Eric from Boy Meets World. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he made that character real cool and everything. Like he really.
Wait, rewind. Did you just say Eric from Boy Meets World was the voice of Draken?
No, Ron Stoppable.
No, Ron Stoppable.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I don't remember if I knew that or not.
Yeah. I'm about to name the cast. Christian Romano, Eric from Boy Meets World, Todd Murray was the guy. Kim Possible, the guy who he called Kim Possible.
The hacker guy.
Hacker guy.
Nicole Sullivan was what's her name? Draken's minion. What's her name? The woman with the black hair. The one who works for Draken.
I know you talk about. I forgot who played that character.
That's Nicole Sullivan from Mad TV.
Oh,
really?
Wow. Oh wow! I didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
The voice not familiar, but I didn't know it was her.
What's the character's name though?
I don't know.
You don't know the character's name?
Who? I can't hear you.
What's the name of the character?
I don't know. I don't know her character name.
What character?
The woman that worked for Dr. Draken.
The woman, the girl who had the black girl. I don't know at this point. I don't remember the name. But I know Raven was also on the show too.
What she did?
Monique, right?
Monique, yeah. I put the video on my IG page like yesterday.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
What about the girl that played the mean girl? What was her name? Bonnie?
I forgot who played that.
I don't remember.
It was an all-star cast.
It was an all-star cast, yeah.
And you know who else? What's his name? Something Montalban. The one who was the grandfather in Spy Kids. He played the voice of the old rich was he Mexican? Oh, wow. Remember the guy and his son? He was like the really buff dude and he had like the chin thing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're about.
Yeah, they became villains when Ron opened his mouth and he was like, "You should turn this into a lair," and try to.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was like the second episode.
I remember. Yeah, I actually remember that. I mean, I watched Kim Possible a lot. I don't remember every episode because it's been a while. It was that one show I did not never really backtrack to watch, like again. To like refresh my memory, but I enjoyed Kim Possible though. It was a good show. I liked it. I like Kim Possible. And I remember I always wanted Kim and Ron to go out and down to the actual finale that she did kiss when it was prom and stuff. They went out, so that was a good ending for the show.
I think back in the day, people used to like want the ringtone where it sounds like you're getting the call that Kim would get, and your phone would go.
Fact, for real.
It probably sold a lot.
I think it did.
This was during the ringtone era.
It was. It really was. But then, of course, they had that terrible movie. A terrible Kim Possible movie.
But at least you saw them kiss.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it because I was a fan of Kim Possible. But that
Movie ain't do it justice, huh?
That was 2 hours I could not get back. The dad actually had an actual naked mole rat. An actual naked mole rat. I was like, what the heezy?
He was always thinking, but okay.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, aside from that movie, terrible movie, the Kim Possible was a good cartoon. I don't think they're gonna do a reboot. I don't think you need a reboot for that.
Okay. If it was a reboot, it would be like any other. She'd probably have kids who don't know.
Yeah, that. Kids, yeah.
Or whatever. And
had kids. Ron married. They had kids. Kids secretly do mission things. Kim probably told her don't do that, but they don't listen, and the girl ended up doing it anyway. That's like a rebellious teen would do, stuff like that.
I wouldn't be mad at it, but we definitely don't need it. Like I don't feel like
if it's like how they working hard on the profit, I wouldn't mind it either. If they're just trying to put it out just to put it out, then yeah. As long as not like that, as long as not that trash Kim Possible movie, then I'm fine with it.
Oh, dude.
Because I don't mind them having a show about a girl who's like, she was an empowering character. So of course, I don't mind you having that for the next generation.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. If fit for the next generation, I agree with you. on that.
You should just create a new one in that case, not reboot old stuff. Okay.
True.
That's what they do these days.
It's lazy.
Yeah, that's all they do these days is reboot.
It's man lazy, son. But anyways, go ahead.
What's that?
So this next show, this next show was on another station, but then they brought it into Disney. We got Disney. We got Disney Duck. How you feel about Disney Duck?
It was the same. It was Nickelodeon Duck.
You said it was the same? Or you said it wasn't the same?
Basically.
They made a lot of changes, and
a lot of changes.
I was watching this girl talk about the changes, and I agree with her. You know what I'm talking about on YouTube. She broke it down real methodically, like to the T. Like she said, how the girl was skinny in this Disney Duck, and how they made Roger rich out of nowhere. How the school named BB Bluff because of father and all this stuff. It didn't stick to the, like, I guess they wanted to, they wish that if they would have rebooted it with them in high school, they would have just not changed the characters until 360, but minor changes. But they said, like, basically Disney Duck, they made a whole 360 from the original one. But I understand why, because they had different people working on it.
Yeah, well, one shout out to Cartoon Lanes. She did broke it down. She really did broke it down. Like she broke it down. Yeah. For real. I mean, as a kid, when I watched it as younger, I didn't notice the changes in Disney Duck. Like I said on the last episode, I didn't see the difference between Disney and the Nickelodeon Duck. But it wasn't until I got older and I watched it, and I brought the girl, like everybody mentioned about the girl breaking down all the episodes and all the things changing. I'm like, yo, what the heezy? How come I didn't catch this as a kid? And it was so much change that did not make sense. And yeah, and it was just, I mean, I had mixed feelings about it. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it didn't make sense. It had mixed feelings about Disney Duck. Also, they had the movie Poor Disney Duck as well. And yeah, I guess they made Disney version more successful than Nick, I guess. I mean, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, but people were turned off from the Disney version of Duck anyway.
Yeah, they was.
It didn't get, I don't even think it lasted more than like a season.
It had 3 seasons.
Oh, it had 3? Oh wow.
I thought, to be honest, I thought it was 1, but no,
I thought it was 1 too. That's why I'm just like, wow, did it have a lot of seasons?
I know. I think for
The
Nick,
one is the one that I watched though.
because
You never watched the Nick?
I didn't have cable. I watched it on ABC on Saturdays.
Yeah,
That's when the Disney came out.
The Disney one came out. Yeah, they had it on ABC. Yeah, they had it on ABC channel on, and that's when I watched it too. That's when I watched Disney Duck as well on ABC. So
It's just for me at the time. I liked it because it was Doug and it was continuing. But when you compare it, you notice like, wow, they really did a 360 on this. It's really not the same.
I agree. Since we're on ABC lineup, let's talk about some ABC shows.
Oh yeah,
that was on that Saturday morning lineup. So Doug was one of them. Of course, you had Proud Family and Kim Possible as well. But let's talk about Recess. Recess was another show that was on that lineup.
Woo! I love Recess. I love Recess. All the characters on the kickball crew. You had TJ Detweiler, you had the girl Gretchen, you had Spinelli. Who else you had? Gus?
Mikey Gus.
And Vince.
Yeah.
Oh, Vince was a good character too. He was the only black kid.
Yeah, but he was the cool one.
He was the cool one.
And the fact of the King Bob on
King
remember?
Yeah, King Bob.
Oh, the little boy. Not Randall, the other boy that used to do for not Chocolate Boy.
You mean Menlo?
Think so.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And let's get back to Randall real quick. The snitch Randall. Let's get back to Randall real quick, man. That character was annoying. Randall.
Yeah.
Mephisto in there, right? Mephisto in there, right? Mephisto. Oh, TJ doing this. Mephisto.
Yo, man, Recess was my favorite show. I still watch it on Saturday mornings. I have watched it over and over at this point that I kind of like wore it out. So I gotta take a break. But my favorite episode with Randall, well, it's actually two. I like the one with Prince Randall where he blackmailed King Bob and he had everybody building, what was it? Oh my gosh.
Statue?
You know how it get, just like when Gus became king of the playground, like they do the same thing every time. My favorite with Randall was the episode called The Trial, when they have that dirt cloud war, and then this little weasel lie and say Spinelli hit him with a rock, and they had a trial.
Oh, remember the Ashleys?
Oh, the Ashleys. Scandalous. That's all they say, yo. That's all they say, yo. Scandalous. Like,
and then they
a pile of tires in the street the other day, and I said, "Look, it's the Ashley's Clay House."
Oh, gee, for real?
Yes.
And the fact that Spinelli was the Ashley, they had a whole episode.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yo,
where Spinelli find out she a Ashley.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I've been watching the episode Disney Plus. But I know my favorite episode is when Penelope, she went to Miss Fista's house for a weekend, and they were spending time together, and she hated being there. But then one day, she found out Miss Fista was fun, and then they started having fun together.
Y'all remember Jimbo? That's like one of my top episodes. Jimbo!
Yeah, Jimbo. Yeah, everybody was on the Jumbo Gym, and it was about to break and so. I remember that episode.
No, they did that card game that they bought that they became obsessed with, and they turned into zombies. They started looking like that. Oh man! Or when they lost the ball and Gus kicked the ball into the lady's backyard, and there was like they had to go get it.
I think I watched almost every episode of Recess during that time. Man. I was hooked. I
watched a lot of episodes too. I don't remember a lot of them now because it's been a long time since I watched it. But yeah, Recess was a dope show.
It was a good show.
Every Saturday morning. Even though it was hard to watch Saturday morning because there was so much stuff I watch on Saturday morning on different channels.
Exactly.
But yeah, exactly. But I made sure I watched Recess though. Every Saturday, I made sure I watched Recess though. And the next show, I watch this show every Saturday morning as well. I think it came on after recess. Pepper Ann.
Watch her in her own parade. Pepper Ann, she's like one in a million.
Oh man, I had to refresh my memory of Pepper Ann because I haven't watched that show in a very long time, and not on Disney Plus. So I had to watch it on YouTube. And I watched it. Y'all, I remember this show. Yo, this show was really good. Pepper Ann. It was real funny.
What was the friend name?
Milo. No, I'm sorry.
Milo. It was Milo. Yeah. Milo, and I forgot the girl name. I mean, I watched it yesterday. I forgot the girl name.
Was she blonde?
The blonde hair, yeah, the blonde hair girl she was with. I know she had a sister that sounded like a dude. She had a sister that sounded like a dude who was skateboarding and stuff.
I always have one memory of Pepper Ann. Like, I watched that show. I loved it. It was just so long ago, and I'm waiting for it to be on Disney Plus. But there was like one scene where she got her training bra, her first training bra, and she was in class doing a presentation, and the teacher asked her where her partner is, but she says, "Where's your support?" And she's like, "It's right here." And the teacher don't understand what she's talking about. And she was like, "It's right here." And she showed everybody her bra. Like,
I'm done. But I know another funny moment for Pepper Ann is when Pepper Ann this random dude that she had a crush on, and he's so cool. He's like, yeah, remember how Amanda show they had the booty point and they had that weird dude who was so cool.
Yeah.
They had a cartoon version of that on Pepper Ann with the red. He was a really cool dude. And every time Pepper Ann come around, he'd always be shocked. And her friend would be like, "He's an 8th grader. He's an 8th grader. Oh, he want to talk to you. Like, he's an 8th grader." Like, every time.
Yeah, Pepper Ann was a fun show.
It was a fun show.
I like that. Bring it on Disney Plus, man.
I will, for real. Bring on Disney Plus. I'm waiting too. I'm waiting for that to be on Disney Plus as well.
For real.
All right, so next show we're gonna dive into the afternoon lineup for Disney, and we're gonna start with DuckTales. DuckTales.
Solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
How you feel about DuckTales?
It was an interesting show. It was a dope show with the three boys. I loved it.
I loved
it too. It was so long ago though. It was so long ago. I know that it was about when Donald dropped his three nephews off to his Uncle Scrooge, and they love it them, and they basically do like a lot of adventures and stuff like that. And I like I said, that was one of the first shows I watched as a kid. When it was on the afternoon lineup, it was one of the first shows I watched as a kid. Afternoon, sometimes Saturday morning. And yeah, I enjoyed DuckTales.
It was Huey, Dewey, and Louie, right?
Yeah, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Yeah, there you go.
Adorable.
Yeah, and later they had a spin-off show later called Crack Pack. When they moved back in with Donald, and they did basically the same thing they did on DuckTales, but with Donald. Have you ever watched Crack Pack? Oh yeah, have you ever remember it?
I don't remember it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't remember it either. But I watched it recently to catch up on it, and it wasn't my favorite show from the bunch. But I mean, it was cool. But it wasn't my favorite show for the bunch. It was basically about them three. Just like a DuckTales with them three. They were living with Donald again. And they did like a mini adventures and stuff like that. Like mini adventures. The thing about Disney cartoons, a lot of it had the same plot. Like,
it do.
A lot of it had the same plot. Either it's about fighting crime, or it's about they do some weird adventures, weird plot adventures, stuff like that.
Did you say it was about the nephews?
Yeah, the nephews. Yeah, it's just like DuckTales. It's about the three nephews. They're living with Donald though, and they had to do adventures and stuff. It's on Disney Plus now. I watched it. I started watching it again. It's a cool show. From what I remember. Like I said, it wasn't my favorite show as a kid, but
was either of those shows related to Darkwing Duck?
A lot of them was. Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And think
Like,
about it.
wasn't that his like cousin or brother?
Yeah. I think they were cousins. I think Duckweed Duck was their cousin, I believe. And you know what's funny? Good thing you said Duckweed Duck, because that's the next show. Duckweed Duck. Get serious. Duckweed Duck.
Basically, the Batman.
Baby, the Batman of Disney. Basically, the Batman of Disney. That's exactly what it is.
They should just call him Batman Duck.
Bat.
No, that would be stupid. Bat Duck. Nah, he would have sounded like a hybrid. Anyways.
Oh, gee. What you gonna say about that one? Yeah.
Duckweed Duck. Wait, how you feel about Duckweed Duck?
Gotta be related to Donald Duck.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy Duckweed Duck. You know, I used to enjoy it.
It was okay to me.
I liked it.
I liked it too. You know, and yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, I can't wait to watch it again. I got to refresh my memory on it though. But I definitely enjoyed it. Kid, it had the sidekick, the duck robot sidekick as well, and yeah, it was a cool show. I enjoyed Duckweed Duck.
You know it's on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, I know that. I know that. I gotta. Here's the thing. Doing this episode, I had to catch up on a lot of shows that I did not remember. And
I'm gonna do it tomorrow morning.
yeah, I definitely go watch that on Duckweed Duck again.
Yeah,
but have y'all watched Mighty Duck? The Mighty Ducks?
Mm-mm.
I do not watch the cartoons, just the movies.
Well, I mean, I watched Mighty Duck when I was younger. Wasn't a big fan of it. I thought I'd watch it again. And the theme song was dope. They had a dope theme song. It was basically about, you know, of course, ducks, just like the movie Duck Play Hockey, but just like any Disney cartoon plot, they're fighting crime. That's basically, like I said, all of them had the same plot. Literally the same plot. Yeah, I know. So also we got a show called Bonkers. Have you ever watched Bonkers?
Yeah, I watched the Bonkers when I was growing up. Bonkers was weird though. I don't know. Like, it's still weird to me. I tried to watch it yesterday.
You know how I feel about Bonkers? You know who Bonkers remind me of?
Cool.
Bonkers remind me of Roger Rabbit.
Bonkers
remind me of Roger Rabbit. Like Roger Rabbit was Racky, Bonkers Racky. Roger Rabbit had work with a detective. Bonkers would work with a cop.
Word.
You know, I was saying he had the red hair, like
Roger. Yeah,
the red hair.
Roger Rabbit. And thing about Bonkers that I like, but I didn't notice it until I rewatched it a couple of days ago. They had some crossover cartoons that was on like crossover movies and shows. It came on Bonkers.
Oh, and really?
Yeah, they had.
I honestly didn't remember all of that because Bonkers was so long that I watched it.
It was so long ago. I know Bonkers had the teacup guy from Alice in Wonderland. They had other people too, but they had a lot of people. I know at one point on Bonkers that they changed the character, his partner. I remember his partner in the beginning was a male. He had a family, wife, and kids. But then later in the next season, they changed to a girl partner who was more laid back and chill. Who was like, well, like when Bonkers used to act up, she didn't care. When his original partner act up, when Bonkers act up around his original partner, his partner didn't want to have it. His partner was like, yo, that'd be annoying.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. But Bonkers was an okay show, yo. It was just so long ago that it ended that, you know.
Yeah, it was long ago. It was one of those shows that was on WB afternoon. WB. We had a lot of line of readers mentioned DuckTales, Duckweed Duck. The next show I'm about to mention, Gargoyles, was another show.
Gargoyles.
Yeah. How y'all feel about Gargoyles?
That show was so 80s.
It was.
It came out before my time.
Nah, that show came out in the 90s. That show came out in the
late 80s.
It was still showing in the 90s, if anything.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I caught it when I was little.
I caught it when I was little too. I caught it in the 90s. But it would probably. But the thing is, but I would agree with you on one thing. It did have an 80s feel to it though.
I'm so sure it came out in the 80s. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers.
Transformers came out in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, Transformers came out. But think about it, do remind me. But the thing about it, good thing he said that comparison. I kind of didn't think about it until you just mentioned that. They do remind me of each other. You think about it, because Transformers was cars that transformed during a certain time. Gargoyles, they were statues, and at night they transform into gargoyles. You know, and fighting crime and stuff like that. I know as a kid, I wasn't too big on gargoyles. I probably didn't understand it as a kid.
I still wasn't big on it, but I remember watching it though religiously on the program block.
Yeah, but I mean now watching it recently, I understand it a lot more now.
You know what's crazy?
I got to adult, yeah.
Back in the day, you had program blocks of shows, and they were all like good and stuff. Like, ain't that something? Like, you just sit there and watch the block for the hours.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You already have that like, days.
Yeah, you don't have that. Yeah, you don't have that nowadays. You don't have that nowadays. You know,
you gotta pick and choose what you watch, and sometimes the show's an hour, so it takes away from it being 4 shows. It'd be like 2 shows, and half the time the second show you only want to watch.
That's true. But
didn't shows though the block of shows that they had after school, didn't that really kind of end around like the mid 90s? Because after school, then I started watching like Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball Z came on. I don't remember when that shift happened.
Yeah, it did happen. I know the Disney lineup was from, I believe, with 1990s until like probably 97, 98, I think. Because that when they started having other shows like Pokemon was coming in the afternoon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like you mentioned. A lot. They had a show called Detention was on the afternoon. I think this show called Generation O. Yeah, they shift from the Disney lineup. And they changed. They took
not only Disney, but Fox Kids and CBS and all of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, but they took off the Disney off of after school and put it on Saturday mornings on CBS, because CBS was nothing but Disney on CBS in the morning with nothing but Disney at one point.
CBS in the morning. Give an example of the show. You mean ABC?
ABC too. ABC they both had it. ABC and CBS had it.
I don't remember the CBS block though.
Like CBS block was, I'm gonna tell you lineup from what I remember. CBS block was 101 Dalmatians. It was a Little Mermaid. Timon and Pumbaa was on ABC, but they moved it to CBS later. Aladdin was also on CBS, but then ABC around that time. Yeah, it was weird.
Oh, wow, so there was CBS.
It was weird.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but I don't think that lasted long though. That changed like later, but yeah. But speaking of that, we do have a couple more shows. We do got a lot of these shows for Saturday morning. We got Chippendale, Rescue Rangers. Do y'all remember that?
Did not watch it.
Dang. What about you, Roddy?
I watched it. It was an okay show.
Yeah, I watched it too. That was, like I said, I literally watch every afternoon, Saturday morning cartoon show. Tim and Joe was not, I mean, as a kid, it probably was my favorite. Now, I don't remember much from it. That's one show that I never got a chance to refresh my memory on. They also have Goof Troops.
Goof Troops. I watched that show after school.
Yeah, I definitely. What do you think about it?
That was like a spinoff of a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
No, that before Goofy movie.
Oh, was?
Yeah, that was before Goofy movie, because Max was younger. Remember, Max was younger. Goofy movie, Max was in high school.
Oh.
It was too long ago.
It was I don't know, too long ago. So Goof Troops.
Too long became a thing. I'm lost.
Yeah, because the thing about it, it was about Goofy and Mac. They moved to a new town, and that when they met Pete and his family, and then they became friends. I don't remember how it ended, so I guess the movie was supposed to be the finale of the Goof Troop, I guess. And I guess since the movie got so successful, they gave them another part to the movie, a part 2 to the Goofy movie.
Another Goofy movie.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen in like a minute.
Yeah. So I mean, Gooch was dope.
Aladdin, I think.
Gooch was dope, and I enjoy Goof Troop. You know. So since you mentioned it, let's talk about Aladdin, the TV series.
I love Aladdin, bro.
I love Aladdin too.
I love it too. I mean, I don't
Ever
remember
since the movie.
Yeah, because the movie came out first.
It's not on Disney Plus yet.
Nah, I know.
Oh no, really?
I tried looking for it.
Me too.
That's so deep. Nah.
I know.
You gotta do something about that, yo.
Yeah, come on. Aladdin. The favorite Jackson.
Do you remember any episodes from Aladdin?
Nah, I don't remember no episode from Aladdin. I remember all the cast was in it. You know, Iago and Abu and stuff was in it. And I know it was after they got married, so it took place after part 3, I believe. I think it took place after part 3.
I think they were married. I think he was just living in the palace.
Oh, so in part 2. So this took place after part 2 then, I guess.
Like,
because remember part 3, they got married. Jasmine and Aladdin got married part 3. So
yeah.
So I guess the show took place after Return of Jafar then?
I guess.
All of that?
That's so mixed up. That's so weird. It's so weird, but
the third movie came out after the show.
Yeah. I think it did. Yeah, I think the third movie did came out after the show.
One episode I can say I remember, I think you can even see on YouTube, there was a crossover with Hercules.
Yeah, I remember that.
You can find it on YouTube when they meet each other. I forgot why. Like Hades was an Agrabah for some reason. It was crazy.
I remember that. I remember the crossover episode. I remember.
I love crossover. I love crossovers. I do not remember that one. I gotta watch it now. Now you make me want to watch it now.
Go on YouTube and put it in and you'll see it. Probably like only a clip though. Like we need to show up.
I don't mind that. I love crossovers, so I love crossovers. And we got a show that talk about a lot of crossovers. We're gonna get to that not yet though. Not yet. We're gonna save that a little bit. But since you mentioned Hercules, I'm gonna change up my list a little bit. How you feel about Hercules, this TV series?
I can barely remember it, but I'm sure I watched it.
I watched it. It was a good show. You had the guy with the burning hair. What was his name?
Hades.
It
was Hades. Yeah.
You had Hercules. You had what other characters y'all?
To be honest, I watched Hercules, but I don't remember much from Hercules like at all. Like just like Aladdin.
Too long for me.
Yeah, just like Aladdin. I can't refresh my memory on the show itself.
It had a good run.
Yeah. It was Hercules when he was like young.
Oh yeah. I think
a teenager, not when he was like full on Hercules.
We was in the movies, like how he was in the movie. So it was like a prequel.
Probably right.
Okay. So do y'all remember the show that came on at 12 o'clock every Saturday morning? Was Saturday afternoon at 12 o'clock called A New Adventure of Winnie the Pooh?
Of course.
I did.
Well, don't remember Winnie the Pooh.
When I had nothing else to watch, but I was never a Winnie the Pooh type of person. Like I didn't care for the Christopher Robin reboot, remake, live action, whatever you call it. I didn't care for it. I never cared for Winnie the Pooh like that, shockingly.
I mean,
I wasn't a big Winnie the Pooh fan, I can admit it.
I wasn't either. And you always come out, I always watched it. But it was one of those shows that I just watched to watch, like how you felt about Corey in the House and how you felt about Corey in the House, and how I felt about Winnie the Pooh. I watched it just to watch it, but it wasn't really a show that I really cared to watch. It was just like this a show.
It was on right next.
Yeah.
When that's when the what do you call it? The block. What do you call it? The time block. That's when it ended for me at 12 o'clock. Just like when Looney Tunes used to come on Channel 11 at 12 o'clock. Sometimes I watched it, sometimes I didn't.
Yeah, because sometimes after Looney Tunes, Soul Train would come on at 12 o'clock on WB.
That means the morning ended.
But I mean, at one point they added this show into the block at 12:30, and I would watch it only because for this show we got the House of Mouse. How do you feel about the House of Mouse?
Yes, I watched that show.
That was like the biggest crossover ever. So it had every character from the movie and the show. And my guy,
I gotta check that out because I wasn't watching at the time.
You wasn't?
Nah, I wasn't.
Here's the thing about the House of Mouse. The House of Mouse was about Mickey. He hosts a comedy, like a comedy club with all the Disney characters was in it. Every cartoon Disney character was in it. Max was the door guy. Older Max with the door guy and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And they play like Disney cartoons, like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. But they also had storylines in between the cartoons.
It's on Plus.
Oh, it is.
It is. I did not. It is on Disney Plus.
I watched it somewhere, so it's on something.
I gotta look for it. I've been trying. I don't think it's on Disney Plus. I gotta look for it. Cause I do watch House of Mouse. That was my show. I used to watch it every 12:30 after the Winnie the Pooh, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed House of Mouse, man. I enjoyed it, and it was fun. It was fun for what it was, It had every character, from Hercules, the Tailspin, Simba.
I gotta check out a few episodes now, bro.
Yeah, they even had it was one special on that show where it had hero versus villain, where the villain took over every villain for every Disney show and movie.
Wow, this sounds exciting.
It does. It was exciting.
I'm about to really look it up.
Yeah, you gotta look at it. You gotta check it out, man. House of Mouse, man. All right, so,
I think it was on YouTube. That might have been where I saw it.
Yeah, I'm about to look on YouTube too. It's a lot of show I gotta check out. Thanks a lot, man. The live show I gotta check out and remember now. So I gotta watch that a Sunny with a Chance, because that show caught my attention earlier. And yeah,
you gotta check out the crossover Hercules and Aladdin.
Crossover Hercules and Aladdin. I love crossovers.
That's cool.
I love crossovers. One thing about me, I love crossovers. Like off the back, I love crossovers. So this show, House of Mouse, was like the biggest crossover ever. I loved it. So this next show, I didn't know when I was a kid that this was a spinoff show to something else until I found this was a spinoff show, Tailspin. Have y'all watched Tailspin?
And what is it? A spinoff of again?
Jungle Book. Yeah,
I didn't watch Tailspin.
Yeah, cause you watch Jungle Book. You remember Abu, the bear Abu? He was the main character. I didn't notice that when I was a kid. He was the main character. He wanted to start flying a plane, and he got some people. Two other characters from Jungle Book, the monkey and the tiger. That was in the show too. Tiger was like a boss man and stuff like that. I don't remember a lot from it because it's been so long. It's another show just like Chippendale that it was so long. It was a dope show. I enjoyed it as a kid. That's also part of my afternoon lineup. I used to watch and check it out. It's on Disney Plus. Check it out. So next show we got is Timon and Pumbaa. How y'all feel about Timon and Pumbaa?
That was the one that came on after school, right? I think like 4:30.
Yeah, it came on after school, and then they moved it to Saturday morning, and that was today. It was on Channel 7, and then they moved to Channel 2 later.
I watched it, but it doesn't mean it was great.
I mean, to be honest, I only remember one episode, and I remember the episode because a big star came on it. Simba came on the show one episode, and yeah, Simba came on the show, and it was cool.
So, it was alright.
Yeah, it was alright. How you feel about it, Roddy?
Timon and Pumbaa. Those are my favorite characters from
Lion King.
The Lion King. So of course I was tuned in every week for that, man.
Does that mean you like Lion King 1.5 too?
Yeah, I did. I like the Lion King.
I think Lion King.
I'm a big Lion King fan.
I think Lion King 1.5 was the reason why Timon and Pumbaa happened. or the one that had came out later. Cause I don't think one that had came out at the time. Timon and Pumbaa came out. Maybe not.
I'm a big Lion King fan too, but like I said, it wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed it though.
Timon and Pumbaa was alright. It was alright. I just remember the episode about when Simba came on the show and they spent time with him and stuff like that. That's the only episode I remember for that show. What about 101 Dalmatians?
But then that was on after school at some point, I think. No?
I did that Saturday morning. No, that's Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. I did watch that.
Channel 7. That was on Channel 7.
I watched that, but I don't remember it too well.
Just like you said about Timon and Pumbaa, this was one of those shows that I watched, but I didn't like.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. What about you, Roddy?
What would the episodes be about? Like, it would be like what, the dogs getting into mischief or something?
Yeah, I think the puppy gets into mischief, and they try to sell credit of the bill, stop credit of the bill, and
I mean, I was never a 101 Dalmatians fan like that, so I didn't really care for the Bucks.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Me either. I wasn't a fan of it either.
With Glenn Close, I just watched them.
I mean, for that reason only. For that reason, I was a fan because of Glenn Close. But I talk about in general, though. I wasn't a fan of.
If you're not a fan of the movie, the show not gonna attract you.
Yeah, the show. Yeah, the cartoon. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but the cartoon was even worse. I couldn't enjoy the cartoon at all.
Okay. I thought you meant the movie. So no. Shout out to Glenn Close.
I enjoyed Glenn Close. She killed it as Coretta. I gotta check out Emma Stone.
The cartoon version was just trash.
I gotta watch Emma Stone movie. No, I haven't watched that one yet.
I'm trying to watch that Cruella movie too much, but I heard right.
Dang. So, what about the Little Mermaid?
Oh yeah.
Roddy's favorite show. Go ahead.
Roddy got hype.
The Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, the Sebastian with the Under the Sea song, and then Ursula and the Little Mermaid, and it was a dope show to me. I liked it.
I mean, I don't remember the show too much. I did watch a couple episodes though, but I didn't. Like I said, that was on CBS. So I mean, I watched it, but I didn't really watch it like that. Not enough to remember it. But that is on Disney Plus though. So shockingly enough, that is on Disney Plus. So I
don't remember it too much, but I'm sure
I remember the theme song though. The theme song was the same. Was like how she's like, and then it switch up to Under the Sea, and yeah, that's how I remember the theme song. All right, so next cartoon we got is it's a lot of movies that turned to TV series on this list. So we got Lilo and Stitch TV series. How you feel about Lilo and Stitch?
I didn't really watch it. Then again, I'm not even the biggest Lilo and Stitch fan. Like, I like the movie that I've seen a few times. I watched it for AAPI month, but I wasn't really into Lilo and Stitch, the movie, like that for me to be watching the show.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those things that I passed on.
Yeah, I didn't watch the show either, at all. I know it came on ABC, but I didn't rewatch it like that either.
I wasn't a big enough fan of the movie to want to care about the show, so I'm sorry.
I agree. All right, what about Tarzan, the Legend of Tarzan TV series?
I like that.
I watched Tarzan though. I did watch that.
I watched Tarzan every morning. Every morning I watch Tarzan. He used to come on in the morning every day. I remember what Tarzan. It was on Channel 9, I believe, with Tarzan, Sonic, Pokemon, and then something else. It was
Lloyd in Space.
No, it wasn't Lloyd in Space.
That was Saturday.
You said in the morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Buzz Lightyear came on.
Oh, it was Buzz Lightyear. It was Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah, Buzz
Lightyear. There you go. It was Buzz Lightyear. But yeah, I was about Tarzan. I enjoyed Tarzan. Tarzan was a dope show.
I did too. I remember the one episode that I can remember always was the one where there was like, she was like the queen or leader of this tribe. It was this beautiful African woman, and then Jane was intimidated by her as always, and she thought that Tarzan wanted her, which was funny because it's like we watched the movie and we're like, wait, they're in Africa, where the black people at?
Nice.
And they actually did like show up in the show eventually, but you know, she wasn't feeling her, and she did want Tarzan because Tarzan looked good and she looked good, but it didn't happen for them at the end.
Yeah. The thing about it, I think I remember the episode. Now they mentioned it. It's been a long time since I watched that show though. Like I used to watch it every morning. I remember I used to wake up, get ready for school, watch it every morning. Like that Buzz Lightyear cartoon. I used to watch it every morning. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Tarzan. What about you, Roddy?
It came on like 9:00 though. I think we watched it during summer vacation.
Probably was a vacation.
Really?
I mean,
I don't remember the time it came on.
I didn't know. I used to watch it early in the morning before I left. I didn't know that. I used to watch it early in the morning before I left.
Now Tarzan was a good show. I liked it. I naturally liked the Tarzan, so I naturally stuck to the show to the end.
Yeah, because I remember how I watched it. It was random. I was waking up in the morning. I would turn on the channel, and I see Tarzan. Wait, Tarzan got a cartoon? And it just came on. I started watching it. I just couldn't stop watching it. And it was a dope show.
Wow, like one thing I realized, like they really put on, like growing up, we really had a different time. Like we really had cartoons on almost all the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. We had cartoons on all different times. Saturday mornings, in the morning, and Saturday.
Or school too.
You know, Sunday, like all day on Sunday.
And before,
which is why in the episode we talk about childhood cartoons. We talk about diving into the Saturday mornings, the afternoons, block and stuff like that. That is not Disney or Nickelodeon. So yeah, just check out the next episode of the Old School Show. Yeah, we'll dive more into that. But let's get back to the Disney episode because we got a few more stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Let's talk about. Don't get me wrong. Help me out if I pronounce this wrong. Phoebus and Fiber?
Phineas and Ferb?
There you go. Phoebus and Ferb. Yeah, there you go. Phoebus and Ferb. My bad.
Wait, you
not watch the show. That we never watch the show.
You didn't even watch that show. Not me. I
never watched that. You never watched it either?
We're talking about Phineas and Ferb, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that the kid who plays Phineas is the boy from Everybody Hates Chris.
Which one?
His friend. What was his name? Greg.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Really?
Greg is the voice of Phineas.
Oh, wow. Now I gotta watch now. I never watched it. I never watched it.
He's like,
I told you around that time of Disney Channel, I stopped watching Disney, so I didn't bother to watch it.
That came on like Saturday mornings, right? That would be the time where I would flip it back to Channel 11.
Oh, yeah, because around that time, Channel 11 was popular. Channel 11 was popular. So.
I couldn't watch everything on ABC. I had to watch my WB too.
Exactly, bro.
And this didn't make the cut.
Exactly. This is why next episode we're gonna dive into the WB lineup and the Fox lineup and every other cartoon that we watched as a kid. Also, we also got David Sears on the next episode too, joining us for the cartoon episode of the Old School Show. So, yeah, but yeah, so
I know what we're gonna do today.
The next episode we got
Greg. Now I gotta check that out, bro.
Me too. Now I gotta check that out too. Now I gotta check that out too. That Magna been throwing out suggestions that we didn't watch, and we gotta watch it now. Magna, she's like, oh my god! And three things that you told me today
is the older sister.
Yeah, and three things that you told me about today. Three things you told me about today that I gotta watch now. Sunny with a Chance. The clip of the spin up, the crossover between Aladdin and Hercules, and now Fever and Fetus.
You're not even saying it right, then.
I know I'm not saying it right.
I'm not saying it right.
I know I'm not saying it right. Fever and
Penis and fur.
Fever the Fur. Yeah, Fever the Fur.
What's that?
Next show we got Lloyd of Space.
Oh, yay. I love that show. I can barely remember it, and I can't wait for it to be on Disney Plus. But I love that show.
I feel like I watched it a little bit, but I don't remember too much about it.
I was a fan of the show. I just can't even explain what went on in the show.
Yeah, I feel like I watched a couple episodes. I think I watched a couple episodes of this show, but did not remember this at all.
It was a show about aliens. That's all I can say.
And could remember, like just like you, just like Saturday morning, I would watch the Channel 11 most likely. I would watch the Channel 11 when this was on. So
this was not part of the ABC One Saturday Morning block.
It was on Saturday. Yeah, it was on Saturday morning.
It's probably the last show on that block, right?
Yeah, probably because
by that time everybody's quit.
Yeah, this was definitely on Saturday morning, and I was watching. Majority of my stuff I watched with WB around that time. Majority of it was WB and some stuff with Fox, and very few with ABC at the time. I think this next show is Roddy gonna get excited for this next show. I think this Roddy's favorite show. Teacher's Pet.
Oh, sure.
How you feel about Teacher's Pet?
I was just watching it just now, yo. I like Teacher's Pet. Teacher's Pet, though, like it has the greatest Disney feel because they had a lot of singing and a lot of the characters were singing. It was, it's the teacher and then the son and the dog want to be a boy basically. So he go to school. He put on pants and put on the glasses and he go to the boys' school, and it's actually the teacher don't know that it's her dog.
Oh yeah, right. I do remember that. Yeah, I do.
Like Brian Griffin going
similar to that. Yeah, you could say that's a similar concept to that. Like basically, if it was like, yeah.
Wait,
they know Brian Griffin. They all know Brian Griffin talk.
Yeah.
You didn't know that. The teacher don't know that it's her real dog in that class.
Did the family know? The family knew, right? That he went to school with the boy, right?
Well, it was basically the parent and the cat. The cat and the parent knew. And of course the boy that was in the class, Leonard, the son knew. But the mother never knew the whole time, which is weird.
Okay. I mean, I did watch this show for a little bit.
You didn't stick with it?
I probably did not like that. Not to the point that I watched like faithfully though. But I did watch every here and there. This show.
What you thought?
I know it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It's just like I said, it was this. At that time, a lot of stuff was on that I was watching that I couldn't really keep up with,
Got it. Yeah, because this was around time where a lot of stuff was on. It was Saturday morning show. Yeah. And these were the shows that they put on later in the one Saturday morning block, so I kind of understand. Like,
yeah, because a lot of the shows that I watched, that was later on other channels, I was watching those on the channel. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was on the live around the time. Static Shock. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, I like Teacher's Pet though. I liked it when I did watch it though. What a bad show.
Nah, it's not a bad show.
That was Nathan Lane, who was the voice of the dog.
Who?
Nathan Lane. Come on, this dude isn't everything. The really loud gay dude who he was in the birdcage. He was. Come on, man. I don't know why I can't think of what he's been in.
It's like I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. I just can't think right now. I know exactly who you're talking about though.
Like I can't think of nothing, even though he's been in so much stuff. All I can think of is the birdcage with Robin Williams. He's voiced a lot of characters too.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Nathan Lane. That name sounds very familiar though.
He was on Broadway, but I can't remember what show.
Yeah, I just can't. I just can't think right now. I know the name sounds very familiar. I just can't think right now though.
Oh man, can't remember.
So the next show we got the Weekenders.
The Weekender.
Whatever. I feel about that show.
I don't know the Weekenders. I don't know. Was it on a long time? Because it was a show I started to get into, but I think it came off the air. I stopped watching after a while. Like I don't know if it keep my interest.
I watched it.
It was on for a minute.
Yeah, they were animated funny. Like they had really big heads, small necks.
I didn't watch the week.
I watched it. It was a fun show. Like it was a group of kids hanging out on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah, like I like the concept that it always revolved around it's the weekend.
Well, that is on Disney Plus. I'm gonna check that out. That is on Disney Plus. I just never got here to.
I confused Weekenders with the show Detention a lot. I don't know if he was gonna bring up that show.
Oh no, that's not Disney. Detention is I know exactly. I used to watch Detention actually because it was on WB. They used to come on WB in the afternoon.
But the Weekenders have like rocket power feel to me a little bit.
I mean, because it's the same
hanging out.
Detention, but that was a WB. Oh damn.
Yeah, Detention with WB.
Oh, Detention. I remember that too, bro.
Yeah, because that was on the afternoon. I remember that. Yeah, he used to come on WB with Generation O and stuff like that. And I remember that show. I remember the week. But I never got a chance to watch the Weekenders though. I never got a chance to watch it. I never got a chance to. But I'm gonna check it out though. Since you mentioned it, so it was a good show. I'm gonna check it out. It's on Disney Plus, Roddy. So you go finish the series off if you wanna. The last show that I'm gonna mention that I haven't watched, but everything else after I could talk about everything else after this. Fillmore.
Yeah.
How you feel about Fillmore?
I confused Detention.
Fillmore, yeah, it's called Fillmore.
I watched Fillmore. Fillmore was a dope show. He was a crime fighting guy in school. He seemed like he was in like 7th or 8th grade. He had a best friend that was a girl. He was a black kid. I forgot. I think that's what I remember from the show.
He was voiced by Orlando Brown again.
Orlando Brown.
Right. Wow.
So this kid had a career, man. Sad.
He was
all right.
He was big on Disney. Gee Louise.
Yes, he was.
I never got a chance to watch it. Like
Orlando Brown.
It was another show that was on Saturday morning. I never got a chance to watch it.
Orlando Brown been getting to that bread since he was little. Since
real
family man. So.
Yeah. His family matters, yo. Like, gee, man.
He been getting to that bread.
Now I feel sad now that his career, his life took a different turn because that dude was talented, yo.
He was talented.
Mental health, I'm sure, it's always mental health or drugs, or sometimes mental health as the effect of drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And think about it, a lot of child stars go through that, they go through.
Yeah, they do.
That, not even, we ain't joking about it. We want all y'all to, get better so y'all could show y'all talents, to the world again. But of course, take care of yourself first, because that's more important than anything,
I watched Fillmore when I could, but that was one of the shows where I got a dip to watch the WB. But like in the shows, then I would watch Fillmore, but then I'd be like, I gotta go back to Pokemon or whatever.
That's why I never watched it, because every time a show was on, I just never got a chance to watch it. And I can hear good things about Fillmore. Even you sent me a thing about Fillmore recently. And I'm like, y'all did. I'm like, why I never watched this show? I always want to,
I like the show though. I like the show. It was really a dope show. It was really good concept around that time. I would check out most episodes.
I mean, it's not on Disney Plus, but
you'll find it on YouTube probably.
YouTube, yeah, probably YouTube.
Roddy, Roddy, do you remember that famous line from Fillmore? Like that was in the gift I sent you, Ken, where I forgot what happened, but like this white girl, she had played Fillmore, and he like basically he said to her, she cooked for him, and he was mad and he was gonna dip, and then he was like, by the way, that chicken was dry. Real chicken.
I don't remember that part, but
I remember.
Fillmore was that cool dude though. That's what I gotta say about this.
I gotta watch it now. Y'all make me. Yo, Magna, you on the money when we wanna watch stuff.
Exactly,
now.
really.
You on the money.
Probably even some of the listeners who never
like that.
Yeah, you told me 5 things today that you describe in a good way that make you wanna watch.
You're probably gonna have the listeners watching these shows too, yo.
Facts.
So
come
I'm
on,
getting a Disney check.
Fact.
Come
on, Fillmore, the Weekenders. Maybe Fever, whatever whatever his name is.
Phineas and Ferb.
Fever and Fur, of the Aladdin and Hercules crossover, and a Sunny with a Chance. You got like 5 things just now. Maybe you want to watch. I'm definitely gonna watch all these things now. All right, so now let's talk about American Dragon Jake Long. American Dragon.
I don't know this one.
That changed for me.
It was on Disney Channel. I watched American Dragon a little bit, but I didn't watch it like that. But I watched it. The theme song caught my attention all the time though. The theme song was dope. That theme song was fire. That was one reason why I watched the show, because the theme song. But the concept of the show was a boy who turned into a dragon, like a crown fighting dragon, of course. Just like Disney can't be original, because all they do is put on shows that got crown fighters, and stuff like that.
That's a boy show, right? Like that was a legit boy show.
Yeah, it's a boy show. I mean, he had female friends. He had friends that female, but yeah, it was overall a boy show though. It was a cool show. It was a cool show for what it was, stuff like that.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Disney Plus, you can check it out.
Was that on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon? I mean, after school.
I know that was definitely on Disney Channel. I think they did play on Saturday morning though. They did play on ABC Saturday morning though. I don't think not for a long time though. I think that probably was one of the last shows they put on ABC Saturday morning, I believe.
What about you, Rod?
I didn't watch American Dragon Jake Long. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. All right. So this next show, this was on ABC at night. The show called Dinosaurs. Have you ever watched that show?
Who?
Dinosaurs.
Oh, Dinosaurs.
It was a live action show.
I peeped it once, but I didn't stick with it.
I definitely watched that show as a kid. It used to come on first with Boy Meets World, then it used to be Dinosaurs, and then it was Family Matters and stuff like that. It was a cool show.
TGIF, you talking
TGIF,
about?
yeah. TGIF, yeah, it was TGIF, yeah, night. TGIF, yeah.
Didn't touch that yet, but
yeah, it was a classic. I mean, Dinosaurs was a funny show. It was a funny comedy show. It was a mother, father, older brother, and a baby. The baby was spotlight of the show. He was comedy jewel. It was funny. They were just recently added that on Disney Plus as of recently. So if you had never seen it, y'all gotta watch it. Y'all would die laughing on watching that show. It's very funny. Okay, so the last couple of shows, these are shows that were not Disney original, but they were accredited by Disney. They're basically on Disney partners. Like they were under the same company, but it wasn't original. It was originally by Disney. So are you ready for the last couple of shows?
Let's do this.
All right, so the first show we got is Sabrina the Animated Series. Have you ever watched that?
yes, I like that show.
I did watch it. I mixed feelings about it. Yeah, I mean, it was up and down for me. I watched it. It was up and down. Not a good thing, but not a bad thing.
It wasn't linked to a sitcom at all.
Nah, it wasn't. It was not related to sitcom at all. But Melissa Joan Hart was the cartoon as well, right? Wait for the.
No, it was voiced by her sister Emily Hart.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Her younger sister.
Okay, nice, dope. All right. What about you, Roddy?
I like Sabrina the animated series. It just had such a different feel that I didn't stick with it for too long.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I feel you in that. I feel that.
Like if it was on and nothing was on, I'll watch it. But other than that, it wasn't something I went to. Because I liked the Melissa Joan Hart one more.
Me too.
It felt like a watered down version to me.
It was because it was animated. It was animated. So
but it didn't have the same feel.
Oh yeah. I know. I understand what you're saying.
I don't know. It just didn't have the same feeling. They tried though. They did try.
I feel like you feel that way because you're comparing it too much to the live action sitcom. It was like totally.
I think
different.
my expectation after watching the whole live action sitcom is that it's supposed to follow up with the same expectations.
Yeah,
even though it's totally different.
And it didn't.
It didn't.
So that's probably why I felt that way.
Yeah, that's usually the case. That's usually the case. All right, so what about Growing Pains? You ever watch Growing Pains?
Yes.
Classic.
Yes. I watched it on Amazon, like probably a year back, like when he ran for president. That was a good show.
Yeah,
that was like Full House.
Yeah. I think it was on ABC as well. I think it was. I'm not sure. Was it around the same time as Full House or was it after? No, not was it after. It was definitely before Full House. Because Karen, Alan Thicke, Robert Thicke father. Rest in peace, Alan Thicke, man. Rest in peace, Alan Thicke, man. My guy. Yeah. He was. I enjoy Growing Pains. It's been a long time since I watched it to remember it, but I definitely watched it. But it was a long time to really watch it. What about you, Roddy?
I wasn't watching at the time, but I heard about it.
Leonardo DiCaprio had joined the cast later on as this homeless kid. So that was one of his earlier starts. And it came on before Full House because you know that Kirk Cameron is the brother of Candace Cameron.
Yeah.
DJ on the show. So she kind of got her start.
Oh yeah, right. That's true. Oh snap. Oh wow.
She used to make appearances on Growing Pains.
Yeah, she did. I gotta watch it again now because it's been a long. I never knew where to watch. You said it's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime, yeah. Amazon.
Yeah, I definitely gotta watch it now because I would look for a very long time. Yo, where can I watch Growing Pains? I have not watched that show in a very long time, yo. And yeah. All right, what about Brotherly Love? Y'all ever watch Brotherly Love?
Is that the show about the Lawrence brothers? Andrew Lawrence, Joey Lawrence. Bro.
Yeah.
Oh wait. When you asked me what's the name of the one on Boy Meets World, did I say Andrew Lawrence or Matthew Lawrence? I said Andrew Lawrence.
Oh, he's the Andrew Lawrence. That's Matthew Lawrence's name. Matthew Lawrence is his name. Yeah,
Matthew Lawrence was on Boy Meets World. Excuse me.
I forgot. Andrew Lawrence is on something else though. I just can't remember.
He was on. If you remember that show, Oliver Bean on Fox. It came on Sunday about that boy and took place in the 50s. And his older brother was played by Andrew Lawrence when he was a teenager. He was fine as hell. All three of them fine as hell.
Oh my God.
Not this again.
Oh,
so you can tell me all your crushes, but I can't tell you what three brothers is fine as hell.
You're right. You got double standards.
I know, but like I said in the last episode, she got shot. I'm pretty sure they were married though, but she shot. She shot. But Brotherly Love, I don't remember the concept of the show, but I did watch the show. I was a fan of the Lawrence brothers, especially Joey and stuff like that. I know it was on WB. I'm not sure. I think it was 1 to 2 seasons. I'm not sure how many seasons it was. That's like Growing Pains. It's a show that I gotta watch to remember. It's been a long time since I watched that show. A very long time. Even longer than Growing Pains.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, this came out. I can't remember what year it came out, but it came out. I believe in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
I believe it was after. It was definitely after Boy Meets World finished because that was Matthew I guess got on it. It was after Boy Meets World finished though, and stuff like that. All right, so the next show, I believe all of us should watch this show. Sister.
Sister,
I got my own life. I got my own time and my own time.
Yeah, we all watched that show. That's where the famous phrase "Go Home, Roger" was from.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right. So Sister is another show that I enjoyed as a kid.
If I had $1 every time someone tried to compare me and my sister to Tia and Tamara, oh, you meet Tia and Tamara? Oh, you meet Tia and Tamara over there? Like, girl.
Really?
Yes. They were the only black twins on TV. Who else are they gonna compare us to?
That's true.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Right,
They were the only black twins on TV. That is true.
Yeah.
Venus and Serena was there. No.
No, they probably. I don't think not around that time. Not around that time. Tia and Tamara were the biggest twin around that time.
Yeah, around that time. All right.
Not being the American Ashley, but.
You're right.
American Ashley. No, Mary Ashley was bigger twins, but yeah,
you still had Tia and Tamara, which was in the spotlight.
I always say they were the biggest black twin at the time. They were the biggest black twin at the time,
and the only ones with their own show.
Yeah, with their own show, exactly. But Sister, I enjoy Sister. Of course, as I got older, it was up and down when as I got older. The later season.
Their boyfriends came in,
yeah, and stuff like that. I mean, it ended good, but Sister is another show that being took for a reboot, which I don't think need a reboot.
They don't need a reboot.
They already had a reality show.
Tia about to work on the game reboot again. She's about to work on the game.
Oh, she coming for this one?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's gonna make an appearance. But I don't think she's gonna be like the main character. I think she's gonna make an appearance. She'll make a cameo.
She'll make cameos, yeah.
Yeah. She possibly for the game reboot. She already on Family Reunion. Tamara was just on the Masked Singer on last season Masked Singer. And
they working, bro.
Yeah, they working.
What was funny was Marquise Houston being Roger. No one expected his damn blow up. Damn.
Wow, Roger. Marquis Houston was gold on that road, though. He was killing that road.
Yeah, but no one expected him to like grow into the sexy ass man that he became. Like he was Roger with the braids. Damn. Like no, I mean even Tia and Tamara knew that by the time that he grew his ass up, they wanted to go home with him. Okay?
I'm done.
And he said in the interview that he said that Sister paid him a lot more money than singing at the time, so he enjoyed doing that more than
If you want to know facts about the industry, actors get paid more than singers. That's the fact.
Even when he was appearing on All That for all that time, he was saying he was making a lot more money than
we mentioned that last episode. Immature, DJB was going on all that.
It was All That regular.
Yeah, there was regulars. Yeah,
TV because you get paid per episode.
Yeah, and don't forget, they were doing the House Party movie too.
Three
and 4. Mark Houston and them, 3 and 4.
Yo, he was making bread around that time, boy.
Yo, Immature was very underrated, son. They were
underrated though.
They underrated, son.
They were getting to the bread outside of music.
Yeah,
in all directions.
For real, Mark Houston, he's doing big things now, you know.
And he was in what movie? It was like Step Up or like
you got served. You got served, girl. You got served. Like, girl.
I was getting there.
That movie is big, so you got served. Oh man. Marcus is my guy now. Marcus is my guy.
But now he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, he's Jehovah's Witness. He married. I don't agree with the marriage thing. We're not gonna talk about that because it's not about that.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. Did you feel like Lisa and Carl should have gotten together in the end, or they were better off with different partners?
Wait, you talking about Lisa and Ray?
Did I said Carl, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been a better story if Lisa and Ray would have got together. I feel like it would have been a better ending for me.
But it was
because you would expect that they should have got together because that was but the show wasn't written.
Yeah,
it would have been forced though, because like y'all said, people would have expected it, even though they had nothing in common. Like they were total opposites, not even in a cohesive way.
No,
like,
you're right. They didn't have nothing in common. They didn't have nothing in common though.
They like try for like a little bit.
They tried for a couple of first 2 seasons actually. They tried for 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Yeah, I know. Season 1, they started to like each other, and then season 2, I think they tried it, and then it didn't work.
Yeah, they're not each other's type.
Yeah,
they're not.
But I mean, the ending was good though. The ending was good either way. I mean, Lisa got married. That was a good ending. I didn't see that was a bad ending, but I think maybe if her and Ray would have got together and married, that would have been a better ending. You know?
Yeah, that would have been better.
And last but not least, we find out in the road, y'all. Last but not least, the last show called New Kids on the Block is a cartoon. Have you ever watched New Kids on the Block?
No.
I have, and here's my story about New Kids on the Block. That was my first cartoon I ever watched. So, as a kid, growing up, and it used to be coming on TV. New Kids on the Block is about New Kids on the Block, the singing group, New Kids on the Block. They used to have, they used to have like they used to go on like Scooby Doo, they go on journeys and stuff and trials and stuff and adventures. But after every show is a lesson, and then they play a video from them. Every show. It came out in the 1990s. It was on ABC. It was a Disney Channel, it was a Disney cartoon, but it was connected to the Disney company. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's one of those shows I enjoyed it. I became a fan of New Kids on the Block at that time when it came out. Donnie Wahlberg.
What year was that?
1990. And I was like freaking 4 or 5 around that time. I was like 4 or 5.
No wonder I don't know nothing about it.
The 1990s. I think they only had 1 season, I believe. I believe they only had 1 season.
I never know about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's on YouTube now. I watched it on YouTube recently. So.
Did they sing their songs?
Yeah, they sing their song. They sing their song. Yeah. And that was the thing. And that was the thing. So that was the theme song. every episode. That was the theme song. Yeah, that was the song. That was the song. Shout out to them, man. Donnie Wahlberg was just the one Masked Singer last season. Recently. Surprised his wife, Jenny McCarthy. So
you said what's his name?
Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie. Why am I saying Demi? Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He was on Masked Singer.
Yeah, he was on Masked Singer last season. As like he wasn't singing it. Well, he did sing one episode, but he was more like a giving clues, but in Masked and giving clues. I forgot he was a chicken. And I guess he performed and he just took his mask off and he surprised everybody. His wife was with Jenny McCarthy, was so shocked that she didn't know like how you was on the show and you didn't tell me. Like he got the surprise all the years, sneaking into work and stuff like that.
You said it was a cartoon.
The New Kids on the Block was a cartoon, yeah.
I don't remember that, son. That's old.
Very old. Here's the thing, it was a cartoon. They go on adventures. At the end of the cartoon, they do lessons. They perform as cartoon characters, and then they show a music video after. Like before the credit, they show a music video of the music, basically. And that was every episode. I don't know. I believe it only had 1 season. I believe because you remember in the 90s, New Kids on the Block was popular in the 90s.
Yeah, like late 80s, early 90s.
80s, early 90s, yeah. But yeah, y'all, that's it for the old school show, the Disney episode.
It's nothing because I sat here and I'm like, kind of understanding why you missed the replacements.
Mitch. Mitch said talk about the replacements.
How do you miss the replacements?
I wouldn't remember because I never watched the replacement. I don't think I watched the replacement.
Me neither.
Explain what it is. Give me another show too. Like go look up again.
Right,
You've been doing it all night.
Nah, I didn't. I've skipped on this one too.
That's whack.
Tell me about the replacement. What's it about?
Replacement. When this came on? This came on like I'm trying to remember if it was Saturday morning or in the afternoon.
No, this was Saturday morning. I remember the title, but I never watched the show.
It was a very good show. That one you should also watch. The first season. I think the second or third season got weird, but it was about a brother and sister, and the animation got weird too. This brother and sister, they found an ad for like parents or something like that. No. Some company that provides wishes for you or something, and he brought them parents, a mom who's a super spy and a dad who's like what do you call that? Like a stuntman or something like that. So they basically got a new family out of that. And what they do is they call the organization, I can't remember, his name is Charlie or something. They call the organization and he replaces people that need to be replaced. So for like an example, they'll have a substitute teacher who ain't it. So they'll call the replacements for that person. But then it's like a whole mishap. It's a good show. It's a funny show. What I want to say though, it was always weird when they made an animated series about a Disney movie and like the animation will be mad funky.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's totally different from the Disney movie.
That's true. I don't know why they do that, but it's funny. So you know what? Before we go, is there any other Disney show that we missed that we should talk about?
Yes, Buzz Lightyear. We didn't actually talk about Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, right. I definitely did watch Buzz Lightyear, and it was a cool show. No, but I can't remember the names of the characters of the show other than Buzz Lightyear.
Other than Buzz, I can't remember it either. Right.
That was I know it was a big guy. It was a girl on the show. And it was another character. But all of them had the Buzz Lightyear uniform on though.
Yeah. It was on his planet before he...
Yeah. I know because they had the movie version of Buzz Lightyear first, and then they came with the cartoon later.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a movie version. Yeah. It was a Buzz Lightyear Space Commander movie, then it turned to a cartoon later. But I don't think I ever saw the movie version of it. I just saw the cartoon, actual TV show version. But yeah, it was a cool show. I mean, I watched it. It was a cool show. It used to come on, just like we mentioned earlier, it came at the Tarzan on UPN in the morning. Yeah. So yeah.
That's everything now.
So you know what? Magna, you got any closing words? Cause I know how you do. You always have closing words.
I am kind of disappointed we didn't really talk about the impact of TGIF, but
we're gonna talk about that in a later episode. TGIF.
Sure. But in closing, I'm proud to be a millennial that was made in the 90s. That's all I can say, because these shows today are not it. I know they're not made for our generation, but I feel like kids today really miss out on quality programming where you got shows that taught you a lesson. They taught you a lesson. They filled you with good feelings inside. They were charming. They weren't even complicated shows. They were very simple. Duck is a basic ass show, but the first episode is about him not adjusting to the change of going to junior high. That's relatable. That's what it is. Those shows back in the day were relatable. They were cute. They were funny. They didn't have all of these subliminal jokes that they do today. They had some, but like where are the shows that emphasize Black families the way that Smart Guy was doing, Sister was doing, That's What Raven was doing? Like, y'all just not making them the way y'all used to because y'all too busy rebooting them. Proud Family being another one.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like the purpose of the reboots, well, for some, is to bring back the two reasons: bring back the nostalgia, and also, I guess some shows didn't get proper endings, so they want to make a reboot to give them the proper ending. For that case, I get it. It's because some shows didn't get a proper ending. They want to end it on a good note. That's why the reboot happened.
But right now,
right
now people are cashing in on nostalgia. That's the main thing they're doing. They know that nostalgia is in.
Come on, this pocket show, this little pocket show, but the Gem Like the Pocket present the old school show, the perfect example of us talking about nostalgia, because this is the old school show where we took everything old school. This is a perfect example. We are doing the same.
We basically doing the same thing too. Yeah,
we are doing the same exact thing. And think about it. You got to think of it like this. We love old school. We all love nostalgic, and we love talking about it. I love doing this series where we talk about old school because it brings back so much memories. It brings back something that we used to have, but we know we can't get it back. And
my thing is, though, don't try to say, "Oh, I'm gonna bring back these reboots," so you can say, "Oh, my kids can watch the show that I watch." No, if you want your kid to watch the show that you watch, and have them watch that show.
Yeah.
Don't reboot it because that's not the same.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the way they write it. The way they write it is not the same.
It's not the same.
No, like
it's not writing the same show that we're writing the original.
Because it's not the same people.
Not the same people.
Like, look what they're doing to The Simpsons, for God's sake.
And even though that's not a reboot, but they continue the legend. I heard the guy recently, which is, I guess we could conclude it because then he brought them. The guy for Simpsons recently said that we're gonna continue Simpsons for the rest of our life. He literally said that he's gonna continue Simpsons for the rest of their life. It's never gonna end.
But the thing is, people are living longer some people are living longer these days.
Women.
Yeah.
So let's say they 95, 100 years old, continue The Simpsons.
Yeah, because they're saying that since there's a lot of current events, they go to keep writing a story because there's so much current event happening. So they're gonna keep continue to do the storyline for Simpsons.
But people always linking theories to them too.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with it had they allowed them to just grow up, because there have been episodes where it was the future. And if it was the future, I wouldn't complain as much because it's the future. It's supposed to be a different time. But y'all still insist on making these kids be 8 and 10 years old.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, Simpsons, Family Guy, all the shows that have been on for a while, they should have made them grow up now. I think it's time.
It would have worked. It's a whole new world that we living in right now. And to be honest, it made me feel old. Like, I be feeling like these baby boomers who are like, it was a simpler time back then. The world is changing.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. Like, I actually say that. I actually say, oh, in my day. Like, that's what we're doing now?
Yeah.
I'm doing back in my day now?
It's crazy. But we can talk about this all day, but we gotta go. So Magna, drop your social media where everybody can reach you. You and Roddy, you know the deal as well.
My Instagram is Mademoiselle _M MADEMOIZELLE _M. Shout out to my Haitians.
Nice. The Star Roddy Rod. You know to drop your social media as well.
Yeah, you can find me at the Star Roddy Rod. This is right, the Star RODDYROD on Instagram.
Yes, y'all already know. Y'all can catch the Old School Show every 4th or 5th Sunday at 12 a.m. on MrGentleman Like the Pocket Network. Yeah, thank y'all then. Thank y'all for checking out this episode. They can check out the last episode of Nickelodeon. They can check out all the Old School Show episodes. We'll be right back.
You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 4. Chill!